ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 7 of the GR3 Racing Championship. My name is Lateral G, and I'm joined in the commentary booth by...
Hi, Savile. How you doing there, Lateral?
I'm doing pretty good, just making sure I got my audio right, because we're back to my normal microphone now this time around. And we're here... Oh, sorry, right. I just wanted to say that we're here racing at Spa for round 7, and this is probably, if I'm not mistaken, the longest track on our calendar for Season 4.
Yeah, indeed it is. And this will be the second time that we've raced here, because it was the finale of Season 3. And that turned out to be quite a good race, that was. So hopefully we can see it even better, considering the racing that we've had this season has been outstanding. So, I can't wait for this track here tonight.
Oh, it's definitely going to be great, and if what we're seeing by some of these times, some of those GTRs are looking pretty quick. Like, I'm looking at the qualifying lobby for, the pre-lap, or the warm-up here for Lobby A, and right now it looks like Chili's on pole with a 15.7, with Inman right behind the GTR with a 15.8, but I believe they both had drafts, so it's going to be a pretty close one here at the top of Lobby A.
Yeah, I think Slipstream is going to be pivotal, especially down the Kemmel Street and maybe at Blanchimont as well. I mean, that will, if you can get a good toe off of a guy that's ahead of you, then you're going to be on course for a good starting spot.
Well, we're going to jump over to our lap guy real quick because we have a lot of time to cover the points because this championship is going to come right down to the wire. So let's take you for a lap around Spa with Savloy.
That's And the drivers are back again at Belgium for the penultimate round of what has been an incredible season. 4.3 miles long, 20 corners in this track. It is a driver's dream to race around here. The massive uphill Eau Rouge Radion, breathtakingly fast corner, and then Blanchimont as well. Just every corner is an absolute dream. Let's take a look of a hot lap around Spa. So let's have a look of a lap around Spa-Francorchamps with me, myself, behind the wheel of the Porsche 911 as created by Marcus. And the drivers are back again at Belgium for the penultimate round of what has been an incredible season. 4.3 miles long, 20 corners in this track. It is a driver's dream to race around here. The massive uphill Eau Rouge Radion, breathtakingly fast corner, and then Blanchimont as well. Just every corner is an absolute dream. Let's take a look of a hot lap around Spa. So let's have a look of a lap around Spa-Francorchamps with me, myself, behind the wheel of the Porsche 911 as created by Marcus Designs. Across the start finish line we go. This is the first of 3 penalty burns here. Break just after the 100-metre board for the first turn, last horse hairpin. First gear, about 45 miles an hour. Use over track on the exit. And then we're coming into one of the most, as I said, exhilarating corners in the world of motorsports. Eau Rouge Radion. Just listen to this. Absolutely flat out through Radion, and now we're going up towards the Kemmel straightaway, the second of 3 penalty burns. It's a long straightaway, probably about half a mile long, I think. Anyways, we're going to be braking about the 100-metre board for 7, 8, 9. This is the Les Combes chicane, second gear, 70 miles an hour. Back on the power, ease off it. Then stayed in second gear for Malmedy, turn 9, took a bit of the curb, third gear on exit. Now we're going slightly downhill towards Ravage, very difficult on the brakes because like I said, it's downhill, second gear, 65 miles an hour in the middle of the corner, tickle the throttle. Now for turn 11, the corner, what we call no name, second gear through there, and then we're going up into fourth gear before we go down for the fast left-handers, Pouon, turn 12, down 1 gear into third, about 120 miles an hour. Use the exit wisely for hitting the perfect apex for the second part of Pouon. Again, use over curb on the exit. In the fifth gear, down to third for 30 to 14th, the Lefania chicane. Again, little tinker with the throttle, ease off the throttle, and back on the power up to third. Now into the first, the Stavolo corners. It's a really annoying corner, this one, Stavolo 1. and then Stavolo 2, a little lift off the throttle before going in towards the Carpapol Freire, which is the third of the penalty burns. And now it's just all pretty much flat out through here, getting ourselves ready for turn 18, Blanchimont, one of the dangerous corners in the world of motorsports. Let's enjoy it. You see they're absolutely hardy flatness there through Blanchimont, and now we've got 2 corners to go. Break it just past the 150 metre board for the chicane down to first gear. As you notice there, Lato, I don't have any traction control, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is a lap around Spa-Francorchamps.
Alright, we are here with qualifying live and underway here in Lobby A. As you can see, all these cars trying to make sure they stay in the slipstream here on their outlaps. It's just the slipstream here, especially on those long Kemmel straights, and even coming out of Stavolo 2, is going to be pretty big for these lap times.
Yep, and as you can see there, you just the drivers there trying to get information. Oh, hello, who was that? Going up from that was Tendo guy, wasn't it? Yeah, Tendo getting it all wrong at Puol.
Picks up a penalty for us. So one thing I do want to point out here is we just noticed that we're not quite sure why this is the way it is, but Chile is running a bit of a different livery for this race. He's going for a bit of a blackout livery, kind of making that Citroen look a little bit like the Batmobile, I have to admit.
Oh, quite possibly, yeah. Certainly does look it.
Run a bit of a different livery here for this round. We're not quite sure why, we weren't informed why, but I'm sure someone will probably tell us in the Discord or in the chat. Back at the front though, Kobu is going to be the first one to start his flying lap. And another thing we should note is Savile will not have the time for Lobby B, as Lobby B is currently full. So he'll have the times for Lobby C, but not Lobby B. So just beware that we're not quite sure who will move up where based on the times. We can't do our own math. We're going to have to wait for the times to come in. Excuse me there.
I've been unfortunately relegated to court watching Lobby C, so oh well.
Let's see what Kobu can do here on his outlap here going on the Kemmel straight. That's where you're going to see the GTR be absolutely the strongest. We're going to hit roughly 260 kilometers an hour going into the braking zone for Les Combes, turn 7 here at Spa. There's turn 8 and turn 9 being Malmedy. Now, the big thing you're going to want to watch out for is when those GTRs, they had the slipstream on that Kemmel straight. I was looking in the practice lobby, and I was seeing a lot of those GTRs hit 270 kilometers an hour before going into that braking zone.
Yeah, that's just a part of the slipstream, aren't they? They just go 10 kilometers an hour fast. I think it's the same as well for Alex in that Toyota. I think he goes about 10, maybe 12 miles an hour quicker. So, like I said, you know, slipstream is everything around here. You know, it's key to having a good lap around here, especially in qualifying.
And speaking of the slipstream, if I go to Wise Guy, I go to this camera and look behind the slipstream.
Yeah, there's a train.
It's definitely a train. So the one to watch out for in this situation is actually possibly the two Jaguars there, because they're slipstream of each other and they got the slipstream of Wise Guy in front of them in the Corvette. So they're going to be ones to watch out for here. Those Jags, we don't normally see them too much, but here, ooh, as Wise Guy gets real squirrely there going into, excuse me, make sure I get the corner name right, Les Femmes.
Stavolo.
Yes, Stavolo.
That was Stavolo.
Out of turn 14, excuse me.
So, yeah, nice to see Wise Guys back there, because we haven't seen him in a couple of meetings.
Yeah, and you can just see that train. They're a little bit trying to break the toe of their cars behind, which is a bit different for qualifying, but these first laps aren't necessarily going to be the fastest. So let's see what Kobu can do as he rounds coming out of the chicane, turn 19, comes up to the line, and his first lap is going to be a 16.6. A solid lap, but he can definitely go faster. Let's see what Wise Guy can do. As you can see, just all the cars starting to pile up here.
Look at them all. Look at them all.
Here, so that's going to be a slow lap for him, whereas these cars are going to cross the line. Mini Coding goes second with a 17.8. Chile goes pole, actually Long goes pole with a 16.2. And you can see just how much that slipstream helped him there with the drafted Chile in front. Let's see.
I think this is going to be a bit of a bit qualified here for the Jaguars of you know, Alex Gaming and Mini Coden, because like you said, the Jaguar's not the fastest on straight line speed, so they're going to try and do anything to try and stay in Lobby A.
That is definitely true. I'm just trying to see if we can look through the rest of the field. Nugati's on a flying lap, but he's by himself, and that's going to hurt him. It's actually going to hurt him quite a lot, because we weren't quite able to cover the points before it started qualifying. But Nugati, his lead has been chipping away.
Oh yeah. I was actually when qualifying ends, we could talk about the point system and how the points look because it is really close. Like I promise you, it is very close.
It is, and as I was trying to say there, that they're chipping away at his points lead. And Nugatti, with his current drops, if he finishes 6th place or lower, he's only going to get that 6th place points. So, and if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct, the difference between first and 6th in the point standing is 30 points. And Nugatti right now has like a 50-point lead over second or Kobu, who's in 4th. So if he has a 6th place points finish here today, that final round is going to be everything to play for. As I'm actually looking, Inman actually pulled a 15.6.
That's all by himself. It looks like he's got no one to help with.
Inman, an absolute rocket here in that GTR. Like I don't think anyone has hit a 15.6 in any of the practice lobbies, and he's just cranked it out here in qualifying.
Yeah, I think you said Chile did a 15.7, I think it was, but there you go, it's 15.6. Is that also the qualifying lap, right?
It would be, yes. I believe it was Alex Rogers at a 16.1. Law still in second. He still has the draft of Chile, and Chile has the draft of Mini Conan in front. So let's see if Chile can improve here. I'm going to give the notification for 3 minutes. Chile in that Batmobile blackout livery this time around, putting on a new set of soft tires to get one more lap in. So there he has Law right behind him, so Law is still going to get a solid lap. We're going to see if Chile pulls off to the side. Yes, he will. He's going to try and get the slipstream of Law in front of him. There we see Kobu, another potential winner for the championship, still in 4th, doing a bit of fuel burning. Mini Conan, possibly so far his best qualifying result, currently 5th, but he's only got a 17.8, and he's definitely going to need to improve here. Back behind them, his teammate, ACZ Alex in 6th, Techno Guy in 7th, currently Wise Guy in 8th, Stig in 9th, but he's yet to set a flying lap here. But he's got 2 cars in front that are looking to set a flying lap, and Dan's and Alex. Let's see what they can do. Get on board here. Let's follow on board with Dan's here. He's on a flying lap behind Alex, so this is going to help him. And Dan's needs a solid points finish if he wants to try and compete with Nugatti in that final round.
Yeah, this is going to be an important lap time for Dan's here if he can. Because to be fair, his qualifying hasn't been particularly the greatest as Dan's.
No, it's been rather weak this season. I know he's not necessarily feeling the strongest here. I know Nugatti's actually pretty quick here. Looking at Nugatti's current position, he's 12th. He's starting his flying lap. So going back on board with Dan's here, currently the last car on the position timings currently, but he's got the draft of Alex. Now you can see his speed, currently 255 kilometers an hour in the slipstream. Definitely closing up to the back of that Supra, and that Supra is no slouch in a straight line.
No, definitely not. Anyway, so he goes into the chicane. See what Alex and Dan's can do.
Closing right up to the back there. It's going to be a good lap from him. Isn't it good enough? Good enough for second. 16 flat from Dan's. And Alex will keep an eye on
the Gatti as well. See what outtime he's doing, because he's got no help at all.
That is actually where he go. He's currently 14th overall. Let's see if we can watch him. He does have no help at all. But Nugatti's been not necessarily a stranger to qualifying towards the back and working his way up. He's done that several times this season so far. So perhaps he's not phased about his qualifying pace, but knows that his race pace is really strong. This will be the last lap he will get here. There's only 15 seconds left in qualifying as he heads through Stavolo, but we're going to need to see what he can do. Going forward here through Stavolo 2. Now into the second of the penalty burns, or actually would be the third, considering the first penalty burst technically after the start and finish line. We're going to give the notification for quali over.
This is big then for Nugatti. This is going to be big. What can he do? Because like all the other guys are ahead, except for Inman, who did that flying lap, did it by himself. But let's see what Nugatti can do here.
Let's get a new set of those softs on. Looks to be a pretty solid lap. I'm expecting a low 16. Comes up to the line by himself. 16.4. It's in 6th place.
I'll tell you what, if he had slipstream, he would have been at least a second quicker and may have got the pole.
Dan's looks like he's purple right now in the slipstream of Alex Rogers through Sector 2, or it was Sector 1. Let's see what he can do at the exit of Sector 2. Is he still purple? No, he's down 410, so he can't improve. Alex Rogers, it doesn't look like he's going to improve. What about Law? Whereas Law currently, he's in the middle, going through, make sure I get the coordinate names right, Puhan, he's got the draft of Mini Conan in front. Let's see what he can do here as it goes through turn 13, Les Found. Back on the throttle now, third, jumped into fourth. Stablo 1, the sector split is between Stablo 1 and 2, and he closes right up to the back of Mini Conan here. That's definitely going to help, but when is he? Down 2/10, but he's got the slipstream. He might be able to improve just slightly. Alex Rogers only 500ths ahead of him in position. Chile back behind them in 5th, so let's see what they can do here. They got a bit of a 3-car train. Try to get you a little bit extra momentum on the turn in there. Hard into the braking zone here for the bus stop chicane. You can see Chile just taking all of that curve. Got a little bit squirrely though. That's going to hurt him. What's it going to do as it crosses the line? Law improves. Chile improves to 3rd. Chile will improve to 3rd. Law up into 5th, as we're going to see Nugatti. He's already crossed the line. What about Kobu? He's coming up here. Kobu's going to another challenger for the championship. He needs a good qualifying here, but that GTR is super strong in the straight. He might not be worrying too much coming up to the line, and it's going to be enough for 7th overall. So we actually bopped Nugatti down to 8th.
GPS has gone to 3rd.
As he has, yeah, he goes up to 3rd with a 16.1, as it looks like qualifying is now over for Labier. So let's open up the live timing here. Oh, and another thing we should know is actually the penalties. If I'm not mistaken, it was staking Alex Rogers with the 3rd-place grid position penalty, correct?
Yeah.
So there you have it. Inman GT taking his maiden pole in his maiden season of the ARC GR3 Championship Series. Dan's in 2nd with a qualifying result that he definitely needs. JPS into 3rd with a 16.1. That's a great result for that FT1 here, especially on a track like Spa. We got Chile in 4th with a 16.155. Alex Rogers, but he's going to have a 3rd-place grid penalty, currently in 5th for Labier. Law 226 in 6th overall with a 16.2. There's Kobu in 7th. Not the best qualifying result from him, but he didn't have that slipstream he would have wanted. But that GTR is super strong in the straight, so we actually might see some passes go on that Kemmel straight in the first lap. Bugatti down to 8th. Again, if he finishes 6th place or worse, he's only going to get 6th place points based on the drop, so it's going to be a hard one for him. He's going to have to battle his way all the way up through the field. We got Stig in 9th with a 16.8, Maddie in 10th with a 17 flat, Mermaid in 11th with a 17.4, not the best lap for Mermaid here in that Corvette. Mini Conan in 12th with a 17.6, ACZ Alex in 13th with an 18.3, Wise Guy in 14th with an 18.4, and then Techno with an 18.8 in 15th. So, while we can, let's actually have you read off the Lobby C results, if you don't mind.
Actually, I think there is one driver that has actually beaten a few times in Lobby A, Pred who's been pretty much the class of the Lobby C Championship. He's on pole, nearly a second quicker ahead of DRE Speedboy. Pred time was a 2-minute 17.2 compared to Speedboy's 2-minute 18.237. Pred was a 2.57. Third was Rhino. I think he's new to the championship. He's driving a Porsche, 2-minute 18.364. Then Hoodstack in 4th with a 2-minute 18.508. FTA 1895, 2-minute 18.852. The Furious 2, 2-minute 19.448. The Baldy 1 in 7th, 2-minute 19.711. Eternicus, I thought he was the Monza winner. I don't know if it was. I can't remember now. Anyways, 2-minute 19.759. Manakai, the first into the 2-minute 20s, 2-minute 23.16. Then it is Chris F, Dan's brother, 2-minute 24.04. Julie's Maximus, who we didn't see a lot of in the stream last week, 2-minute 20.412. Pinkophone 12th, 2-minute 21.223. And last of all, Daryl B, 2-minute 23.949. So the gap really between pole in Lobby C to last is 6.7 seconds.
I'm just looking at Inman's lap here because that 15.6 is absolutely insane. And I can't quite see his best Sector 1 there because he did happen to cross the Sector 1 split line. But that sector 2 of a 1 minute 1 flat in a GTR is insane. He absolutely nailed that second sector in that GTR.
Where could he gain all that time from? It must have been like from 10, 11 to Pouhon to where the final chicane was.
He absolutely nailed that in the GTR, because even with the slipstream, that's the technical sector of the track. The slipstream doesn't make up too much in that sector. You see normally the slipstream making up anywhere like half a second in sector 1, which of course we can't see, but that's still that 1 minute 1 flat. Like even a car like the FT1 from JPS, which is known for its cornering speeds, at a 1 minute 1.1.
Yeah, it's really the second sector of the track is what will make or break your lap. The first sector's it's just like La Source and then Radion, Eau Rouge, Kemmel. That's the first sector. The third sector's like on the exit of Stavelot 2 and then the Carbon 4 Freda, Blanchemont, and then you got the chicane. But it's really the second sector is what is key to, if you get it all right, which what Inman has done. He's absolutely nailed that lap time, and therefore he thoroughly deserves that pole position.
That he does, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold it on that Kemmel straight. I mean, I expect the FT1 of JPS to lose a few positions just because of the straight line speed of that car isn't quite as competitive as some of the cars around it. But I mean, with the Supra in third place right behind Inman with that slipstream, we have Law in the GT, Kobu, he's supposed to be a few laps, a couple positions down, but we have some people jumping into the pit, so that kind of messes up some of the laps here. Actually, looking at Dan's time, he was actually purple in the last sector, 35.5, which is that 10's faster than what Inman had, but still, that 35.5 in that last sector, you really have to nail that final chicane.
Well, don't forget though, Dan's was in the slipstream of Alex, so that's why he would have got purple. Whereas compared to Inman, he didn't have no slipstream at all. But I mean, that's still an incredible effort for Inman. Not bad for your second ever TRA race, isn't it?
That's pretty damn good. I mean, that GTR is definitely one to be reckoned with. So, one thing I did want to mention is we wanted to cover the points before the start of the race, and we're waiting for all the times to be calculated. So we're going to pull them up here. So let's make sure I get the right. There we go. Pull them up here. So let me get my copy up so I can actually see. There you see Nugatti currently on top in Tier A, 684 points total. And back behind him, 51 points, actually tied for second, is Dan's and Chile with 633 each. Then we have Kobu in fourth with 625, 59 points behind. And as I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, the difference between first and sixth is 30 points. And Nugatti is currently one of Nugatti's drop scores is a sixth place. So if Nugatti finishes sixth or worse, he's going to get sixth place points for this race, which will cut that gap down by 30 points if either one of those drivers end up winning today.
I was just about to say, he's got 2 sixth place finishes. His Nugatti. Yeah.
Okay. So if he finishes worse than sixth place, yeah, he still get the sixth place points, but okay. I thought he had a worse.
It will go onto his points, and then one of his sixth place points will go away, and then if he finishes seventh, then it'll be seventh and one of the sixth place finishes.
But the point that is for the final round. Then there could be, if Dan's or Chile or Kobu, either one of them win today, which some of them are looking quite possibly at doing, especially with Dan's qualifying position. The 20-point difference could easily be the difference between wherever someone finishes, especially at Catalunya, which is not an easy track for some of these cars.
No, definitely not. No, it's just all down to how Nugatti can play this out. If he can finish above top 6, then he could be, he could walk away as a champion after Catalunya. But if as you said there, he's qualified worse than what he has done, and he can still work his way through the field. So he's going to have to do that again here today. Dan's is looking solid there. I think he's second quickest, wasn't he, or third quickest? I think
he was second, I believe. It was JPS that was in third.
Yeah, so he's, Dan's has got to drive the race of his life here to keep in touch with Nugatti and Chile as well. Kobu, he's starting
seventh, one position ahead of Nugatti. But that GTR is super strong, and especially on that straight, it's not as strong as it was before, but now it's kind of better overall. So I think if Kobu gets his strategy right and stays in the slipstream with some of those cars, he has a chance to at least get a podium, if not a win, if he plays his cards right. So I don't think it'd be a smart move to count Kobu out of this championship. But I think Law is out at this point, 100 points back. I don't think he can take it. Maybe a good podium spot in the end of the season if any of those drivers in front of him have a bad race. But I think Law's basically mathematically removed from winning it. But basically, it's a 4-car race for the championship, and it's essentially Nugatti's to lose.
It's just going back to Law. It's just, he'll be feeling a hell of a lot confident after the podium that he got at Brands Hatch. So you never know. He may feel he'll want that. He want another podium finish here. There's Law. He could possibly be the party pooper in this. What could be a thrilling end to an incredible championship, I reckon.
That it definitely could be. Let's move over to Tier B, and there you see Thomas TT far away ahead at the top of the leaderboard, 617 points, 107-point gap to second place of Noxby in the Porsche, and then Kujer, who's not here today, currently in third with 163 points. So Thomas TT basically has the Lobby B standings locked down at this point. Looking through the rest of the field, we have Jerry Bear in fourth, Cro-Magnon in fifth. The Cro-Magnon normally a bit of a faster driver than what we normally see, but as I mentioned some of the other races before, his wheel actually died before the start of the championship, so he had to do the time trial on his controller, which he's slower on, and he feels that it's a bit more fair if he does the rest of the championship on a controller instead of jumping back to the wheel. So it's a bit of a morals thing for him, but if he jumps back to that wheel, we could definitely see him be some solid Tier A material.
Yeah, and he has got potential to be a Tier A material driver too, so hopefully we'll get to see a few more of Cro-Magnon.
And I'm looking over at the Lobby C, we have Predje currently on top, but actually looking at the points there, he's only 15 points ahead of FTA in second, so that's a close battle.
I thought he was the class of the field in TSC because he's been competing Lobby B a lot.
I think he might have had some bad races where he missed, so he might be out of drops. I'm not quite sure. I haven't been paying too close of attention to the Tier C points admittedly, but that's going to be a pretty close battle for the Tier C championship between those two. And then we have Hoodstack in third, 137 points back, so I don't think he's going to be taking first or second place unless either one of those drivers, like I mentioned, are out of drops and have a really poor race. And we have Notorious DRE in fourth, and Daryl in fifth, Tournicus sixth, Rafal seventh, and then Pingo eighth, Manikai in ninth. New to the GTR, I believe. I believe he's on Ice-T Racing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Manikai was actually in Tier A last race.
Manikai, let me see. Manikai wasn't in Tier A last week.
Because I remember there was another Ice-T Racing GTR at the Brands Hatch.
Oh, it was Daft. It was Daft.
That's not list. He's the new one to Ice-T Racing. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's a guest driver though. He's in the same class as Alex and that.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, let's have a look at those. So we're going to jump to our reserve points. There you see Alex Rogers far and away ahead of the reserve points, 659 points. Now, once again, just for anyone who might be a little bit confused, reserves cannot win the Tier A points. They can win overall, but they don't get anything for winning overall because they do not qualify in the time trial to start the season. So, I mean, at the end of the season, there could be that asterisk next to Nugatti's name saying that he won, but he didn't have the most points. But, in fairness, there's Alex Rogers far and away ahead of the reserve standings. So we have DRE Matty in second, who's actually already in second and doing a solid job considering I believe his first race with us in the championship was, if I'm not mistaken, around Fort Laguna.
Who was that? I'm sorry?
DRE Matty.
Matty's first race was at Laguna Seca, and then he missed the round 4 race. And then he's done the last 2, but his best has been a 4th place. He finished 12th in his rookie race and 10th last week at Brands, and he got a 4th place finish at round 5, which was, what was that again? What was round 5? I forget now. Anyways, and I think he's the one that's moved from Toyota to Porsche, hasn't he? Because with Charles's connection, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we're starting to get the times here, so I'm trying to get them saved so I can show them on stream. If you wouldn't mind reading off of Lobby A for us there.
Hold on a second, I'm just going to get it myself here. Give me a few seconds, I mean.
So one thing I do want to cover just at the end there is the manufacturer's points. So you see Ice-T Racing 114 points ahead of Polestar Racing Team and Team Apex still in third. So it's a close battle for the constructors, but I believe third is a bit too far away in the end.
So am I doing lobby A, am I?
1 second here. I think I could actually get them up in time. If I can...
Okay.
If you want to start it. Actually, if you want to start it.
Okay, then. So Inman will start on his first career pole position, 215.684, nearly 4 attempts ahead of Dan's, who's a championship contender. JPS, late in the qualifying, got it up into third. Then it's Chilling in fourth. Law 226 in fifth. Then the championship leader, Legati, down in sixth. Then it's Waffle Boy in seventh. as we've been told that he's been now called Waffle Boy. Actually, look out for Thomas because he's been very good as well. He could be a dark horse to win this race. There's been a lot of chat in the champs chat that Thomas has been looking really good around here. Of course, because it's his home track. Alex Rogers will be down in 8th. Oh, we got Beckham!
Yeah.
Beckham is back!
Beckham new to the Reserve Championship doing this round. I'm not sure he's going to show up for the last round. He has a history of not doing that, but he's here at Spa.
Well, no. Yep. And then Darth Nihilus, that's back-to-back Lobby A appearances for him. He's going to start 10th. Kobu 4th in the points, down in 11th, but we know what that GTR can do. Matty, Jerry Bear, and Pred G, the first driver to come out of Lobby C to make it into Lobby A. So solid effort there from Pred G.
That it is. And this looks to be a pretty solid race, especially at the top. You have Darth Nihilus once again in Lobby A in that GTR, so he's definitely gotten faster since he's moved out of that McLaren.
Definitely. Well, it helps that he's driving a GTR, isn't it? Yeah, but good solid effort there from Bridgie because, you know, as you said in the championship points in Lobby C, I thought he was the class of the field, but you'd notice there that the points between himself and the guy that was second was not that much. This is going to be a big points day for Bridgie.
That is, and looking at Lobby B here, let me just scroll this down a little bit so people can see it. There you have it. You see Stig currently on pole in Lobby A. So he lost out in Lobby A because of that 3-place grid penalty, but he ends up on pole for Lobby B, and then you got Mermaid, his teammate, behind him in 2nd place. Mini Conan in 3rd, PKMZ in 4th in the 4C. We have DRE Speedboy in 5th, ACZ Alex in 6th, Reno, who's another new driver, in 7th, Wise Guy in 8th, Hoodstack in 9th, Arc Matty, there's a difference, in 10th, Techno Guy in 11th, the Cro-Magner in 12th, Nox V in 13th, and FTA in 14th. If I'm not mistaken, it didn't say skip a number there.
I don't think you did. And then we go into Tier C. And there you go. Riley Coyote will start on the pole ahead of Thunder Pig, MG Walter, the Furious 2. That's actually quite close there as well as Defiant there. But nearly, just over half a second between the top 5 in that group. So that's going to be close. The Baldy one will start 6th. Then Eternicus, Manikai, Havoc DK, Chris F, Julie's, Pingaphone, Pierre, and Daryl.
Now, I know Pierre's been struggling a bit here. He says he was, I was looking at the GR3 Champs chat, and one thing I did notice was that, oh, hold on, I think there might be a bit of an error in the qualifying for Lobby A. I'm seeing here, Kobu says his lap time is wrong. So let's see, let's give a bit of information ourselves. Kobu, it says he did a 2:16.8 on the sheet. But on his screenshot, it says he did a 16.3. So
now, I wonder what's going to happen here then.
This is 16.6, not a 16.3, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, either way, it's going to improve him by a position.
So the admin says they got it and they're going to rectify it. So yes, there we have. It says Kobu is now in 6th. So Kobu will move up to 6th from 11th, and everyone else will kind of drop down a position between them. So that means Nugatti is in 7th. Alex Rogers is in 8th. Thomas TT in 9th. Beckham in 10th. And Darth Nihilus is now in 11th.
Oh, okay then. So interesting developments has been made here. Very interesting.
And it is. So there you have it. So this, what you're seeing on screen, is wrong. So we did read that. So there's your starting grid, though. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your starting grid. We're gonna get the race here started soon. So predictions. What do you think? What do you think is gonna happen here? Do you think Inman's gonna pull away at the front, or do you think he might possibly lose it? It's on that Kemmel Straight here at the start.
I don't think he'll lose it at the Kemmel Straight. I think what Inman has to do is probably do what a Seb Vettel would do on the start. You know, just try and pull off a massive advantage, then, you know, don't try and get any pressure from anyone behind. But, you know, that's going to be very difficult to do. You know, will experience come into play here, considering Inman's not been this high up before? That could play another factor into this. It's really all to play for. I mean, this is huge for the championship. You know, Dan's, Nagati, Kobu, possibly Law too. You know, they can't afford to make a mistake here, because that could have been the championship over for them. So, you know, they've got to drive with so much precision around here. 1 hour, you know, it's definitely tricky, but I don't know. I mean, I always say I don't know for every race. I can't really call it. I mean, this race has been so close and it's been so entertaining. You know, there might be a last lap pass, maybe.
It's definitely going to be. It's a hard one to call.
It's wide open. It's wide open, this race.
But I think we really need to drive home the fact that Dan's, Chili, and Kobu cannot have a bad race. They've already used up all of their drops. I think all of their drops, if I'm not mistaken, have put them outside the top 10. Whereas Nugatti, as we mentioned, his 2 drops are 2 6th place finishes. So, like, if they have a bad race, they need to finish top 3. All 3 of them need to finish top 3. Well, Nugatti needs to finish 6th place or worse. So they can drive their heart and soul out, but Nugatti could just reel them in and make it a non-factor in the end. It's quite possible.
Looking at the stats here that I've got from the results from this season, Dan's 2 drop positions are 11th and 6th. Chili's 2 dropped score positions, it's been 8th and 7th. Kobu's dropped 2 were 8th and 7th as well. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. This is so good, eh?
It's definitely gonna be interesting. It looks like the start check is underway and everyone can go away. So it looks like we're gonna get the race started here pretty soon. But I think, because I didn't say what my predictions are gonna be. I think my prediction, I'm gonna say, with Chili in his grid spot, I think Chili's probably gonna come out on top, especially with his fuel saving. He might be able to go for a 1 stop here at Spa. So I'm gonna be a dark horse and say Chili takes this one.
I'll probably. I want to go for the dark horse here. I mean, as much as the people were saying about how good Thomas is around here, I'm going to go for Thomas here on this one. Even though he's like an old school driver, he's been here from the very beginning. He's not had a win to his name yet. It would be quite nice for him to have his first win at his home track.
Mm-hmm. So one thing to note is you get the notification for the race to start, and it's going to be starting in roughly 2 minutes. And another thing we also have to remember is to call Thomas Waffle Boy. We have that directly from him. He wishes to be called Waffle Boy. So you have that. So.
We'd like to know the reason why he's called Waffle Boy now. He must have dumped his spaghetti.
He didn't give me a reason why. He just says, "Can you call me Waffle Boy?" And I'm like, okay. So he's Waffle Boy now. But that
maybe likes the waffle on though.
So what do you think, because we like to speculate about the Tier A championship, what do you think about the constructors? Once again, we have 3 GTRs in this field, but Nugatti's essentially been carrying Polestar Racing Team on his back this entire championship. Do you think that perhaps come towards the end the GTRs are actually going to come out on top, or?
Oh, definitely. I think it comes down to, how many. I mean, well, I think Pridgey's also with Polestar, so that's going to help them a little bit. Help Polestar Racing, but I just think, with Ice-T Racing, they've pretty much had 2 cars in every race in Lobby A. Obviously, with the exception of Kobu not making the Laguna Seca race, but it's just been completely dominant with the GTR, with Thomas and Kobu, and now that you got Darth now into the mix there, he's also in that Lobby A for the 2nd consecutive week. So I think, it's pretty much all iced tea racing. As one guy said in the stream a couple of weeks ago, it was like iced tea versus ARC. So, I think with all that, I think you'd have to go for iced tea racing for the constructors here.
I'd have to agree with you, and I think that if I'm not mistaken, this would be the first time a manufacturer would win separately of a driver.
Quite possibly, yeah, because you had Lexus
with Dan's in season 1, and season 2 it was Lemmy in the Lexus.
Lemmy.
And then season
then you
3,
had Alex in
I
the
think
Beetle.
it was in the Beetle, yeah. So it would be the first time a constructor would win separately of the driver.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
So we're gonna get started here momentarily, as the race will be going just soon. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, if Kobu gets a strong finish here, then and another strong finish at Catalonia, he may possibly pick the title, and then we could have a Nissan winning the drivers and the constructors.
That is very true.
And keep the streak going.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the closest that a Nissan has been to winning a championship since season 1 with Balk 21, now Kevin Meister.
Yeah, definitely. Season 1 was definitely close, even though I was a part of it, but nowhere near it. And then season 2 and 3 was a bit of a ball fest, thanks to Lemmy and Alex, respectively. But season 4 has been an absolute treat to watch.
It has definitely been a treat to watch as we're going to get underway here. Once again, a manual rolling start. There you see Inman GT on pole, Dan's in second, JPS in third, Chile in fourth, Law in fifth, Kobu in sixth, Nugatti in seventh, Alex Rogers in eighth, Thomas TT, now Waffle Boy, in ninth, Beckham in 10th, Nihilus, the Mexican, in 11th, Maddie, GRE Maddie in 12th, Jerry Bear in 13th, and Pred J in 14th. So the rolling start will get underway here, and it's going to be a pretty long outlap if you think about it.
Yeah, it will be quite a long outlap. So, Inman will probably, all the drivers will go up into sixth gear, save some fuel, and we'll get ourselves underway. But yeah, it's 4.3.5 miles long. It's not a small track. That's what I was trying to say. So, we can talk about other stuff while this this start is going to happen, because this could happen for like another 5 minutes here.
Well, we do want to remind you, if you happen to like what you're seeing on your screen right now, to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. It helps us grow our channel, and it helps us grow our community. So if you like what you see, feel free to hit both of those buttons. If you want to support us, feel free to check us out over on teespring.com/stores/adrenaline-racing-community. That's where we have all our merch, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and stickers. It's all there. It's all high quality stuff. I can vouch for it personally. And all the proceeds going towards helping us, in the end, helping our drivers with rewards at the end of the championship.
Quite interesting here that I'm looking at the tyre strategies that the drivers are doing. Positions 1st to 7th are all on soft tyres. And from Alex Rogers in 8th all the way down to Pred J in 14th are all on mediums. So positions 1st to 7 on softs, and Alex down to Pred J all on mediums.
That is pretty interesting. Wonder how that's actually going to play out in the race, because we can obviously predict the softs are going to try and break away and stick with each other in the draft. But I mean, with Alex starting on the medium tire, let's just make sure. That's the right button. There you have it. You would think that maybe you're trying to go for that one stop, perhaps?
Quite possibly, yeah. I think it's doable on a one stop. Yeah, I think maybe one stop is the way to go. I think we did see that in last season. I think it was a one stop strategy, won the race for Alex. And I'm not too sure if he did that same strategy last season that got him to the championship, that won him that race last season. I can't mind. But I think possibly a one stop strategy is the way to go. We should be expecting to see maybe 27, maybe 28 laps around here. So, I mean, if people want to go for a first pit stop, they'll pit between maybe like laps 13, 14, 15, and then for two stops, they may stop, maybe lap 9, 10, and then their second stop will be lap 19 or 20. So I would say possibly the one stop could be the way to go around here.
It's want to make sure I get the right start zone here. I believe it'll be after turn 1 and going down in towards Eau Rouge is where the actual green zone is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I had that mistake last week because I thought it was going to be at the chicane.
So here you can see all the cars weaving, trying to keep heat in their tires. All their fuel mapping settings will be set to 6 to save as much fuel as they can on this outlap. So we're going to start to see the cars stack up here across the start-finish line. Here you see Dan trying to pull up alongside the back of Inman.
Hopefully we won't get any people making contact and having their rear end damaged, like we saw last week's race.
So there you see the car starting to form up. Chili pulling a little bit out of line, make sure he doesn't run into the back of Dan's there. So here we go. Inman GT will bring the field down out of turn 1. Heading in towards Eau Rouge will be the green zone. Let's go on board with him as we look back behind as we wait for him to get on the throttle and start the race. Dan's just side by side. Leader will set the pace. And away they go. And Inman gets away quite cleanly. Actually, you can see just how much torque that GTR has. He already has almost a 3.5 second gap to Dan's behind him.
That was actually quite interesting because he was going before going in towards Stavolo. They passed the start-finish line. That was interesting.
Well, their leader can set the pace whenever they want. You see Kobu trying to have a bit of a look to try and go away by Law in front. You see Beckham trying to go a bit defensive.
Oh, JPS! JPS nearly kamikazing into Dan's.
As he's having a hard time getting that FT1 back on track. I have that replay saved. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything towards the front of the field here. Inman GT still leads the field. Dan's in second. Chili third. Law fourth. Kobu up into fifth. Nugatti now sixth. Alex still in seventh. Thomas TT now Waffle Boy in 8th, back to 9th, Darth in 10th, Jerry Bear 11th, Maddie in 12th, Craig J in 13th, and there's JPS in 14th. So let's get a replay of what happened to JPS going into here. Make sure I get the right car.
Up to third.
Oh, yeah.
And it just totally mistimed his braking, didn't he?
Yeah, and it got reset.
Yeah, he did reset, yeah.
Let's make sure we get that from on board him this time. So you see in the draft, Dan's actually getting a bit of a tire in the dirt there, and he just misses the braking zone, dives to the inside to try and avoid hitting him, and ends up getting reset.
Still, that was good awareness though from GPS. He's having a look on the inside of Bridgie though.
Remember, he's
going to get by him through Stablo too.
He's going to be on the soft tire here, so he's got all these slower cars in front. He's going to try and work his way by. Back at the front though, Inman GT still leads almost a second ahead of Dan's. Chili in third, Law in fourth, and Kobu in fifth. So let's go on board with Kobu and see if he can find a way by both the Citroens in front here with the slipstream.
I'll have a look further back through the fields. Looks like it's going to be status quo as you are. No one really looked like they're having a genuine attempt. Although Nugatti's getting very close to the back of Kobu's GTR.
Yeah, looks like Law got a bit squirrely through the bus stop chicane, so Kobu couldn't quite get the throttle on that he wanted to without running to the back of it. So now that guy to go right up to the back of him. And this is going to be where the GTR is strongest. The end of Sector 1 here, going up through Eau Rouge and Radion. You're going to see the slipstream play a big part here. Half a second the gap, and it's already closing. Back behind everyone, single file going up through here. Kobu, real close there, man. Be careful not to pick up a penalty. It's really easy to do, especially going through Radion. And now you're going to see the draft. Actually, no, he's pulling away his Law. Law's actually pulling away in the draft of Chili.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, 8 temps between Law to Chili, so he would get actually quite a good slipstream from Chili. I mean, that Citroen's not a slow car. The Citroen. Who's that got off? Beckham's gone up to 8th. Is that Waffle Boy?
I'm trying to see. It looked like
Waffle Boy's down to 11th.
Yeah, he is. I'm going to see as they're battling right now with DRE Maddie and them side by side. I just want to make sure nothing else happens here. Looks like Maddie's going to try to look at the inside. Not quite. So, as you see, JPS trying to find a way by one of the Citroens there. I'm expecting that to be Prejide. Make sure as he comes up to the field. No, it's Jerry Bear. So let's get a replay of what happened to Thomas here. I think he just missed the braking point.
No, what it was is I think he may have shortcutted either Radion, because I got to the replay quickly and he was just about to be unghosted. So I think he served the penalty on the Kemmel Straight. That's why he's lost that little bit of ground. But he's back up to 9th.
Yeah, he is, but he's got a train of cars behind him. He's got to be careful. If I'm not mistaken.
Is Maddie looking to the inside, possibly?
Let's make sure we get on board with him. Maddie in the unfortunate. Ooh, as we see JPS go really wide to avoid any contact with him, so JPS going to merge back on track now, but he's going to lose a lot of time. Has to be careful to avoid that AstroTurf. They can easily spin the rear of that car. Back up front though, Inman still leading 1.7 ahead of Dan, so Inman absolutely nailing his laps here on those soft tires. He's making everyone count, as it looks like Nugatti's already up into 5th place. He managed to make a pass on Kobu.
Oh, indeed he does. I don't know if it'll be too late to get a replay yet, is he? Yeah, he's too late to get a pass there.
What's interesting, if you look at Alex Rodriguez, he's on the medium tires, but he's still managing to stick with this front train here. So those medium tires aren't as much of a gap to him, or a time penalty, as it would think.
He is starting to lose a little bit of draft. He's 1.3, so he's out the draft of Kobu. So it's just a case of him just trying to hang on to the clutches of Kobu. But Kobu's in the slipstream of Nugatti, so that's going to help Kobu, and it's not really going to help Alex behind.
Chili's going to take a look to the inside of Dan's. Dan's going to let him by. Chili up into 2nd place.
Dan's there already thinking, trying to be smart here, just trying to let Chili by, though, thinking we'll try and battle it on. I mean, it's early in the race, we've only got 10 minutes have already passed.
Just trying to lose as little time as possible. He doesn't want to fight him, doesn't want to lose time to Inman GT at the front. He's breaking away without a draft. Inman is absolutely nailing his laps right now.
Thomas has just passed Beckham up to 8th place. He just passed on the Kemmel Straight. So Thomas now recovering from that little penalty he had a lap ago, up to 8th place, and starting to close up on Alex in that Toyota.
Looks like there was a bit of a shuffling going on here. Looked like I think Bugatti was trying to find a way by a law at the exit of No Name. He's going board with Bugatti, the current championship leader, as he's right behind Long, right behind Dan's. Kobo all over his back bumper. This is a hairy situation to be in. One mistake from either of these drivers could cause any one of them to possibly be out of the race with some pretty heavy damage. Now through Stavolo too. Let's see just how strong that AMG is in the slipstream with that Citroen. He's just ever so slightly closing.
He's a little bit. I mean, it's just a case of trying to get by, because he's got to make this move stick if he can get by low, because if he doesn't, Kobu's there to repass him again.
Chili hasn't been able to break away from the back of Dan's. Law has a look to the inside of Dan's, maybe a bit of a touch, but I think they get away with it. And Chili is he's still in 2nd, but Inman is already broken away at 2.4 seconds. Inman setting qualifying laps here on the race. Currently with the fast lap with a 2:16.3, but he might not be fuel saving.
By the looks of it, he's definitely not. And I mean, he has smashed the lap record set by PK a season ago. That's nearly 7 times quicker than what PK did in PK when he drove the Porsche.
2.5 now at the top of Eau Rouge, so he's absolutely maddening the gas pedal. Chili's still in 2nd. Let's see what Dan's will do in 3rd behind him, half a second between them. This front pack here, these pack of 5 cars are the ones you're going to want to watch. These are the top 5 in the Tier A Championship. 2 races, including this one, left in the championship left to go.
It's written in the stars, isn't it? The top 5 in the championship, all nose to tail.
Looks like Chili's just ever so eking out the advantage over Dan's here. Dan's struggling a little bit in that AMG compared to the cornering speed of the Citroen.
Just looking here a little bit further back through the field there, JPS has finally managed to get by Matty, so JPS back up into the 10th position after that near kamikaze at Lecom. Now he's got nearly 3 seconds to catch up on Beckham, another Toyota driver, but Beckham on the mediums.
Front Inman, almost 3 seconds between him and Chili, and he's doing it by himself.
Thomas in the other GTR is slowly catching up to Alex now. It was about 2 seconds now. It's now less 1.2 seconds. So Waffle Boy is nearly within slipstream distance of Alex.
Just on board Law here. He's all over the back of Dan's. He might try to make that lunge work yet again here, going into the bus stop chicane. He's within it, almost a 10th. He's looking to the inside, breaks a little bit later, can't quite get it done.
I think he's trying to fake Dan's out here. I think he's trying to pull out, make a lunge, force Dan's into a mistake. But Dan's just far too much experience for that.
Looks to be that the AMG has the advantage out of the corner, but Law in the braking closes right up to the back of Dan's and almost loses the rear end there. Maybe a bit of a touch from Nugatti. It's quite possible, but Nugatti's getting a run on him here. Side by side, Nugatti looking to go on the inside of Eau Rouge over Law. They're neck and neck. Will he get it? Will Law let him by? They're still side by side. Law lets him by.
Oh, that was a bit like that. Yeah, they may have lost a bit of time. And Kobe's going to run out wide, though, because of Law's deceleration. And there's a little bit of contact.
They definitely touch, but both of them are going to lose a lot of time. This, and Kobu actually gets a penalty for running wide at the exit of Radion.
I think that was a bit unfair because he had to react to Law when he lifted off through Radion. I think that was a bit not fair on Kobu there, to be honest with you.
He had no track to go there, but I mean, even if he had lifted off,
nowhere to go.
Even if he had lifted off, I don't think he would have been able to do anything about it. So Kobu struggling here with his championship hopes. Back to 6th. Let's have a look at where Thomas TT is. He's within half a second of Alex Rogers in front, so let's see if it might be a development here within the coming lap. Back at the front, it's still Chile 2nd, Dan's 3rd, Nugatti 4th, Law 5th, with Inman GT 3.5 seconds to Chile.
Just looking at Inman's fuel at the moment, he's just less than 75%. Chile is just about on 75%. So I wonder if Inman was just trying to stabilize a gap and then trying to fuel save from now. Looking at their last lap time, Chile did a 2:17.1, Inman 2:16.4. I don't know. Oh, Inman nearly lost it there at Stavolo 2. He's pushing that GTR. Here's a replay. That's Stavolo 1, and then watch the back end get loosey-goosey on him. I think he may have touched the Astro.
Yeah, he did, but that's a good catch. That's a very good catch. That's not an easy one to hold steady. That curb select wrecked a lot of cars, and I've had it happen to me myself.
Looking here, Tom, Waffle Boy's past Alex now, so Waffle Boy's up to 7th.
Front Nugatti slowly working his way up the field and now into 4th. If he were to finish here, he would almost solidify his championship hopes.
Let's not forget, Nugatti did very well when he was in the Group B Championship a season ago. He finished on the podium in his Porsche. So Nugatti knows how to race around here. He took part in the endurance race last week. At the 2 endurance races, he came runner-up in the 3-hour endurance race when I was commentating with a Techno guy. So Nugatti knows how to race around here, but he looks like he wants to get that 3rd place. He's getting closer to the back of that Interstellar Racing Mercedes sedans, but he's going to stick him behind. Law's sort of starting to lose touch on that battle, though.
That he is, yeah. That's just that going through that Radion side by side with Kobu and Nugatti had to lift, and that's just a lot of time lost. He's still slightly within the slipstream, so we expect him to close up, but I don't know if he'll be able to close up and make the pass onto Nugatti, but Nugatti hounding the back of Dan's here for the final spot on the podium.
Oh, he's just literally stalking the back of Dan's Mercedes. You're right on board with him. Going into Pouhon, let's see what it is. I think it was actually Nugatti v Dan's that was going to be for the 3-hour endurance race. You can see they're reuniting their battle from that, and Nugatti wants to way by. He's wanting it, doesn't he? He really wants it.
And he does. Nugatti's not normally the one to sit and wait in someone's slipstream like we see guys like Chile and Lenny do in the past. He's definitely not the Alan Prost kind of driver, the one to do the absolute bare minimum to get the absolute maximum. He's definitely more set as he's looking up the inside of Dan's here at the exit of Stavolo 2, and Dan's not going to fight him, wants to lose as little time as possible, and Nugatti up into 3rd place.
So there you go, then Nugatti from starting, what was it, 8th, 7th, something like that, and he's already up to a 3rd place. So as things stands, his 2 6th places are going to be still dropped.
If he gets this 3rd place, I don't think anyone can touch him. I think if with finishing 3rd here, with his 2 drops already the way they are, I don't think it would solidify his championship, I'm pretty sure.
We're going to have to get loads of abacuses here for the finale here, Lado, because it's too confusing for me to know.
mean, right now, the only one driver ahead of him is Chile. If Nugatti finishes ahead of the rest of the championship contenders, I'm pretty sure that locks down the championship for him, because then he would only have to add a 6th place, and he's got more than 30 points between the winner and... Basically, Nugatti essentially just needs to finish above 6th place here, and he locks in the championship.
But we have seen Nugatti make mistakes. Don't forget that the incident that he had at Brands Hatch. He is vulnerable to those little slight mistakes. He also made a mistake in the last week's broadcasting races here last week. So, you know, it's ill-advised, but, you know, Nugatti can make that mistake here and there.
And it looks like Law and Kobu have started to catch back up to the tail end of that group. It looks like they're all still back in at 41.5 minutes remaining. Let's level with the rest of the field. Tom's TT in 7th. Alex Rogers in 8th. There's JPS up at 9th, closing up to the back of Alex, so losing the most of his soft tires here. Then we have Beckham in 10th, in the Supra as well. We have Maddie, DRE Maddie in 11th, Fred J in 12th, Jerry Bear in 13th, and then behind him, Dark Nihilus in 14th.
Inman's gap then to Chile nearly 4 seconds. Looking again at the fuel, Inman is around about 60% left of fuel, whereas Chile has got about 67% left of fuel. So Chile already playing the fuel saving mode. But while he's doing that, Nugatti's getting slowly closer to the back of that Pleb Racing Citroen.
He is. He's on an absolute tear here. Looking at on board with Law currently, he's all over the back of Dan's, and he might try to make that move into the bus stop chicane yet again. Dan's is falling backwards here, not trying to fight anyone.
I wonder if he's actually saving fuel. Let's see what his fuel is like. He's roughly about the same fuel as the leader, Inman.
Here comes Law looking to the inside, side by side. He gets in the inside. Does Dan's let him have it? He does, and Law up into 4th. Now Dan's has to be careful he doesn't lose another position to Kobu.
Just looking at the tyre wear, the Gatti's tyre wear, soft tyres are looking so good, but Dan's 9 laps in and nearly the fronts are nearly gone. Like his tyres are nearly falling off the cliff, his Dan's.
I'm going to correct myself from a few rounds ago. I said Dan's had switched to the wheel, but no, he's still on that controller, and that comes with the worst tyre wear. So Dan's trying to do everything he can to keep his championship hopes alive here, but it's not quite working out at the moment.
I mean, he might lose that 5th place there to Kobu, because you'll see the speed of that GTR. He'll just whiz by this Mercedes, will he? Let's see. Kobu's getting closer. Will he make a lunge? No, he's going to stick him behind.
So just keeping an eye on Nugatti there. He was having to look to the inside of Chile going into Lescombe. But now he's all over the back of him, and Nugatti in an absolute tear here. From 7th on the grid, already into the top 3 within 10 laps.
Battle go down for 8th place. Alex Rogers versus JPS, both Toyotas. Alex on the mediums, JPS on the softs. Going into Rivage, very close together there. I think I made a mistake as well, because Alex was saying his Toyota is the newer one, whereas JPS is the older spec, which I thought it was the other way around. But here comes JPS. He's going to try and pass him at Pouon. That's not a corner to overtake someone.
He's got the soft tires. He might have been able to do it, but he couldn't quite find the inside line. Let's go on board with Alex. He might get the run out of here with that slipstream, that Supra, known for its straight line speed, whereas the FT1 of JPS, known for its cornering speed. Let's just see the difference of grip. But JPS gets a run out here. A bit of a tap there from JPS into the back of Alex, but I think that's just a difference in tire wear and being able to get on the throttle a little bit sooner. JPS having to look at the inside. He might try to find a way by through the exit of Stavlo too.
Yeah, he's probably going to do it here. Yeah, side by side through where both Fred, and then JPS is going to have the outside for Blanchimon, which Alex is going to have the inside for. Side by side for Blanchimon, and Alex just holds off there. That medium tire doesn't look quite slow compared to a soft.
No, it's not. He's doing a great job holding off the challenge of JPS behind, but if they're not careful, he looks to the inside, a bit of a dive, and Dan's makes a pit stop now from 6th place.
So I'm guessing this is a 2-stop strategy that Dan's is going to go for.
I would think so, or maybe it's a 1-stop and really try to push those mediums towards the end of the race. He's trying to go for the undercut, but he started on the soft, so he's going to be on the back foot here for everyone else. He's already on the mediums jumping to the soft tires.
He's just come out of the pit lane with that battle right there between Alex, GPS, and Beckham. But just noticing on the lap time that's lap 10, and I did say before the race, you know, going for 2-stop, you have to pit between laps 9 to 10. Oh, I tell you what, JPS is all over the back of Alex now. I was
Bugatti Chili side by side for that second place. Bugatti tried to have a look at the inside of Les Combe, but Chili will hold him off. Inman GT, his gap almost already 5 seconds ahead of Chili.
I think JPS has gone by. Yeah, Alex has gone down to 8th. So JPS now up into 7th place.
Still on board the Ducati here as he's all over the back of Chile going into Pujan now. You can just see how much more speed he carries on that corner entry. Now turn 13 it is found. Able to close up to the back at the exit of that corner. Law 2 seconds back and forth with Koba right behind him. I wonder if we're going to see pit stops this time by. Who else is going to go for that 2-stop strategy?
Do you know, I genuinely think that a 2-stop strategy will not work around here. I believe that maybe a 2-stop, because I mean we've only got 36 minutes to go, so if you want to go for the 1-stop, you can hold on for tyres for like another 6 minutes. Oh, look at the guy. He's all over the back of that Citroen. He maybe make a pass going into chicane, maybe? No, he's behind. But look at Kobu. Kobu's looking on the outside, though.
Definitely out of look, but that's not an easy pass to make on the outside.
I tell you what, Thomas there. Yeah, I was about to say, Thomas is like nearly 3 seconds away, and he's the first on those medium tyres. So watch out for Thomas, because when he makes his pit stop, he's going to be on the soft tyres. But all them lot are going to be on the soft, medium. So,
and the gap between him and Inman right now, the gap between him and Inman is only 12 seconds. So it's not quite out of the realm of possibility that he could be battling for the top step of the podium here.
If only he hadn't made that penalty at the Kemmel, he would have been a lot closer to the back of his teammate. Oh, yeah, he did one, yeah. But if he hadn't have done that penalty, he would have been a lot closer to the back. As I think Law is trying to hold on to that 4th place now.
Kobu on the outside, you can make the outside work here. Can Kobu get on the throttle? No, he cannot, and Law still holds on to 4th. Law in the latter half of the season has really started to figure out that Citroen GT.
Really has, yeah. And I mean, these two are reuniting the battle from Brands a couple of weeks ago for the bottom step of the podium. But I think Law is kind of reignited Law here. I mean, he's been really consistent in qualifying his Law. I mean, his positions hasn't been a little bit good though. 5th, 9th, a couple of attempts at 8th, and in that podium finish. But he's looking really good now. Oh, there's contact! There was contact there.
They touch Kobu and realizes it wasn't a good move. He lets Law back by, but that's probably going to be a post-race penalty. So unless Kobu wins this race by a large margin, I think his championship hopes are done with that mistake right there.
And look at Thomas now, 2 seconds away from Kobu on those medium tyres.
I just missed the replay of it. Wait a little bit too long to play it. Ooh, Kobu getting a little bit heated under that helmet there. He almost lost the rear end there to the exit of Stavlo 1. Looking back,
he's got the inside. He's trying to get by though. No, he's not. I thought he was going to be side by side to have the exit Stablo 2. Oh my goodness me! He's trying to go on the inside of the problem, Shimon. No, it's not. Law's going to hold on. Goodness me! This is a good battle here between these two.
That it is, and they're definitely doing a great job. Let's see what at the front here, Chile and Nugatti. They go in the pit lane yet? No, they don't. They will not try to go for the undercut. There we see in the background just Kobu and Law, and there's Thomas TT, Mr. Waffle Boy himself, is closed up to that battle. The more they fight, the more he closes up on those medium tires.
And before when Dan's pitted, Law was close to that battle for 2nd place, and now it's nearly 5 seconds away from the Nugatti. So I think it's a clear indication to me that maybe, Inman, Chile, Nugatti, Law, Kobu are going for the 1-stop.
He definitely is going for that 1-stop, is Mr. Waffle Boy. But he missed the apex going into turn 1 by a wide margin, so he's losing a lot of time here. He's just outside the slipstream, but he actually managed to carry more speed through it. So I look back up in 3rd place, Nugatti having a look to the inside of Chile, but instead of staying in the slipstream, he pulls out, which is interesting to me. Why would you not want to stay in the back of the slipstream of Chile? Are you perhaps maybe, is he afraid he might run into the back of Chile in the braking zone, or?
I genuinely don't know. I think Kobu's gone by. Yes, he has. Going back to the Nugatti, I don't know. I think Is he trying to fake Chile out or something? I'm not too sure.
Well, he's done it for the past several laps, and it's not like he's ever been that close enough to make the pass work. But they're just getting the replay of Kobe finding a way by Law on the Kemmel Straight. And it's just, it's weird. You would think normally you would see something like that in racing if your car was overheating and you want the fresh air instead of the disturbed air of the car in front of you, but that's not a thing in Gran Turismo. So it's strange to me, like, why he would pull out. He's not gaining any speed. He uses more fuel to try and keep up because he doesn't have a slipstream. It's strange.
It is a very strange one here. Looking here now, Thomas has now asserted himself to this battle for fourth place. I think Kobe is just about to check out on Law, it would seem, but Thomas, this is quite a drive. This is from Thomas here.
That it is. He's doing a great job so far on those medium tires. He's definitely faster than some of those cars on those softs.
The only problem is I'm looking at the fuel gauge here, and he's down to about nearly 30%, whereas Law is about 40%. So he's going to lose a bit of time going into pit lane because he's going to have to put in more fuel than the others. But the soft tyre could play into Thomas's hand during the second stint. As Law goes a little wide on the exit of Blanchimont.
Sorry, but Inman GT is in the pit lane there. See Thomas having a look to the inside. Not quite going to get it done. Oh, Law goes wide. Law goes wide. Tomo around the outside, the exit of the bus stop. Are they side by side? They are. Who gets the power down? It's Tomo.
And look, closer to the background is Alex and Dan's and GPS too.
So Law misses the braking zone, goes way wider, goes Tomo to the outside. Law tries to get on the throttle, a bit of bump and rub, but everything's clean between them, and Tomo gets to position because of a Law's mistake.
Now let's see if Nagati will do the same thing. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I wonder if Nagati will do the same thing as what he's done before. I wonder if he's just happy to stay in second place.
I think he might have done the math himself and realizes that, hey, if I finish second, no one can touch me. It might just be him doing the math and says, I don't need to fight Chile. I don't need to perhaps pick up a penalty post-race. I don't need to risk doing anything like that. If I just sit in second this whole race, no one can touch me come the end of the championship. Ozzy almost runs at the back of Chile there in the braking zone.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dan's fuel here. He's all over the back of Alex Rogers. In fact, he's going to go to the inside of Rivard, sorry, there, the downhill hairpin. He's got by Alex up into second place, but I'm noticing his fuel, it's about 30%. So Dan's is definitely going for a two-stop strategy. I'm sorry.
Let's see if we can find where Inman comes out in 10th, 15 seconds to Chile, currently the leader, and he is on the medium tire now, fills up most of the way, so it's a one-stop for Inman, trying to go for that massive undercut. So let's see if Chile and Nugatti will respond this time by.
Yeah, I think they will have to. Less than 30 minutes to go. I think this is a case that they will be pitting this time by. It's going to be all down to fuel. Who's saved enough fuel? By the looks of it, it's Chile by a considerable margin over Nagati.
So here they come. Oh,
Kobe's got a half a second penalty.
You think he picked it up at the exit Stablo? He burns in the penalty zone where he's supposed to, but he will hold on to third, but he's going to lose a lot of time to Thomas behind him. Back at the front, Chile still in the lead. Nugatti not going for the pass. So let's see, will they respond this time by? Will Chile go in? Nugatti goes in as well.
I think they're all going to go into the pit lane here as Law's trying to protect that fifth place from GPS. Kobu's also in. I would imagine Thomas is going to stay out as well as GPS. As is Alex Rogers by the looks of it too.
I think they're
trying
to get the most out of those medium tires as they can, although it's going to be hard for Thomas to do that, especially on those medium tires, but he's got a real light fuel tank in that car right now, so maybe he feels like he can go a little bit faster.
I think he should have pitted this time by. I reckon he should have pitted.
So there's Chile. He actually caught up to the back of Inman here, so Inman lost a lot of time in his pit stop as Chile is just outside of a second from him. Nugatti 3 seconds back behind Chile at the exit his pit stop, and there's Law who's out now. He's coming out just ahead of Prejay, so Law once again jumps Kobu in the pit stop. Back at the front though, Tomo and JPS are going to be battling for the lead here, though they have yet to make their pit stop. JPS still on those soft tires.
Yeah, I think if Waffle Boy was to win this race, he should have pitted this time by. He should have pitted, I reckon. Fourth,
Dan's in third, but Dan's we're expecting to make another stop this race. We don't think he has enough fuel to make it to the end. So there's Inman in fourth. There's Chile currently in fifth. So everyone's on those medium tires now. Will Chile be faster in those mediums than Inman? It's quite possible.
Quite possible. This is really a net battle for the race lead now.
1.3 seconds the gap. This is the closest Chili's been since the start. It looks like Inman just pulling away so slightly on the quarter entry.
It's going to be interesting to see how Nagati's going to play in all of this. Will he close up to Chile now? So I think further behind is a good battle. There's Pridgey. He's just run wide on Pouon.
I see it there just in the back of the shot. There's Beckham up into 10th behind Alex Rogers, who's in 9th. Excuse me there. So Tomo still holds on to the lead over JPS. However, we expect both of them to make a pit stop this time by. So JPS runs wide. His tires might be starting to come to the end of their life cycle. Will they come into the pit lane? He has a bit of a dive.
Oh, that was so close. Yeah, Thomas is in, JPS is in. So Dan's is now going to be the new race leader, but he's on a 2-stop strategy, whereas the others are on a 1-stop.
There's Inman in second. Chile just 1.2 back behind. There's a blue flag. We expect that to be some of those drivers in the pit lane still at this point. Dan's currently in the lead, 3.1 to Inman behind. And it seems to be coming down ever so slightly. Let's see where they come out. So JPS feels...
Thomas is putting in a lot of fuel in. What has he gone up to 83? I think that may be just a bit too much fuel, I'd reckon.
Comes out 7th, but he's got the soft tires, and he's not far off the back of his teammate Kobu, 2.3, and that's a lot of time to easily gain, especially in that middle sector.
Now, by my calculations here, Dan's is leading. But like I said, he's going for a 2-stop. Inman's on the 1-stop, so the gap between Waffle to Inman is about 15 seconds.
Looking at Dan's fuel, he does not have enough to get to the end. Or even if he went for the 1-stop, I don't think he'd be fighting Inman here. So I think that Dan's best option here is to try and stay out as long as he can and maybe try to hold Inman up a little bit, back him up into Chile, and cause them to fight.
There's a big battle going on. There's a decent...
I just wanted to say, it looked like Chile's actually gapping out Bugatti now. It was, what, 3.5 a lap ago? Now it's 4.2?
Yeah, it is 4.2. I'm just seeing if let's see what their last lap time was. Yeah, Chile did a 2:11.4. Bugatti did a 2:12.1. So Bugatti had made a mistake.
Front Dan's, the gap's just slowly falling to 2.7. You know, he's on a 2-stop. There's Inman, the leader, only 1.2 ahead of Chile now. They're both on the medium tires. Nugatti 4.2 in 4th, effectively 3rd after Dan's makes a stop. There's Law in 5th, who managed to jump Kobu in the pit stops. He's 1.5 seconds behind. And you have Tomo, the first of the drivers on the soft tire, currently in 7th, and he's already 1.7 off the back of Kobu.
And he's bringing Alex and Beckham as well as GPS, but GPS is on the mediums. So we could have 3 cars going into this lead battle soon. Well, not soon, but you know, Thomas will probably bring Alex and possibly Beckham.
Kobu makes a mistake. Kobu makes a mistake in the bus stop chicane. He goes really wide in the entry. So now Thomas all over the back of his teammate. Kobu not having a good race today.
And there's blue flags being shown. I don't know why there's blue flags there. I wonder if there's going to be team orders. Is Kobe going to let Thomas by? I think he may. Yes, he does. He's going to let him by, isn't he?
He does let him by, but it also lets Alex Rogers go by. That might have been a bit of a miscommunication. Not the best executed, I think. But Kobe not having a good race. I think his championship hopes are probably done as of this race. At the front though, Inman GT. Chile's close right up to the back of Inman here. And that looks like Chile's actually got down Nugatti even more. Nugatti struggling on those medium tires. Chile has to be careful not to go too wide there, lose time. I think he tries to go for late apex here to get on the throttle a little bit sooner and maybe carry a bit more speed through No Name than what Inman is.
That lap time that I was saying with Bugatti did a 2:12.1, that was his out lap. So I'm just seeing from the first time after the pit stops, Chile in 3rd, his last lap was a 2:17.5, whereas Bugatti was a 2:18 dead. So Chile is definitely the faster of the two of them.
is then, is Law closing up at the back of Nugatti? Because it doesn't look like he is right now. There we see Alex Rogers who actually has...
Alex has gone into 6th.
Alex has jumped ahead of Mr. Waffle Boy in 7th. And they're the ones they're going to have to watch out because they're only 2.2 behind Law. And Law is only, if I get this right, 6 seconds to Nugatti. So they might catch Nugatti coming out of this race.
Just seeing the gap now between Inman to Alex Rogers. It's now 14 seconds.
Law had a bit of a moment there. The exit Savlo too. He got on the AstroTurf. He got a bit of a wobble. You can see Beckham all over the back.
Under some severe. Yeah, I was just about to say that he's under a lot of pressure from that of Beckham.
Slipstream goes to the outside. Kobu going to go defensive to the inside. He's going to try and carry more speed. Kobu on the medium tires. Beckham on the softs. Does he get the job done? He does. That's a great pass from Beckham.
Yeah, Kobu definitely struggling now on those medium tires, and as you said, that might be his title quest there, over and done with for Kobu, unfortunately.
Chile real close to the back of Inman here, going up through Radion. He's going out the slipstream.
Oh, wow! Alex Rogers setting the fast lap 2:16.1. That's nearly a second quicker than PK's fastest lap in season 3.
All the way to the inside. Chile's going to look to the outside. He's going to try and carry more speed. Inman moves back, cover him off. Great defending from Inman. Chile can't get the move done yet, but they're even gapping Nugatti even more. Now 5.4 seconds between Chile and Nugatti.
My oh my, I thought he was going to push Chile onto the grass going into the Lecombe chicane, but no, that was just enough to squeeze the Citroen in there. But Chile's wanting it now, isn't he? He wants to get his first win of the season, does Chile?
He does, and this is effectively, as we mentioned, a race for the lead. Dance has to make another stop. He cannot hold on to that lead as he is. Nugatti 5 seconds back, and then back behind him it's 6 seconds to Law, and then Alex Rogers now within a second of Law. So if Nugatti's not careful, he could lose a position to Alex Rogers and possibly Mr. Waffle Boy himself.
Kobu's now down to 10th. He's lost another spot to GPS. So it's not gone right for Kobu. It's just pretty much all fallen into. It's just fallen. Smithereens. This is for Kobu's championship chances now.
The gap between Danz and Inman is still 2 seconds. Inman just within a second of Chile. Chile's going to have a good slipstream here throughout the back. Looks like Chile might have made a bit of a mistake. He's way off the back of Inman here.
Look at Alex. He's closing up so much now to Law.
You can see the grip that Supra has with those soft tires, the power it has over Law on the mediums. He's closing right up to the back of him. He's probably going to go for a pass here to the bus stop chicane. Does Law go defensive? He does. Alex Rogers trying to make it on the outside. We saw the pass work for Beckham. Can Beckham do the same thing to Law?
He's going to have the inside though for 10-20. He's got it.
And here comes Tomo. Tomo goes to go with him.
That's the speed of the GTR. He's going to try and get some help off of Alex there. He's trying to get the slipstream off Alex. My apologies.
Law tries to hold on the inside. Tomo can't quite get the pass done there. But Alex up into 5th place and now will set his sights 6.6 seconds to Nugatti in currently 4th.
And the way that Alex is going at 6.7 is nothing. He can catch Nugatti up in about a couple of laps the way that he's going.
Here's Chile trying to find a way by the outside of Inman yet again. Inman goes to the inside, pushes Chile outside, takes away the line away from him, and he will still hold on. Inman is playing absolutely smart with his defending. He goes all the way to the inside to make Chile doesn't take it, and then when Chile has to pick the outside, he moves back across to take away Chile's line from finding a way by the outside of him. This is just smart defending from Inman, and it's completely legal.
I would expect the leader Dance to be pitting this time by. He is flashing red, so that will be Dance. He may come out though if he could just, you know, I'm just seeing the gap here with Alex Rogers is about 13 seconds. So Dance may come out just about the battle for 5th place now with Alex, Law, Thomas.
Just looking at the gap between Alex and Nugatti, and he closed half a second from the exit of turn 1 to where they are now, but it looks like Nugatti, perhaps Alex Rogers' tires are falling off just a little bit more than what he would like, is maybe having a bit of a harder time catching up to the back of Nugatti here.
More concerned about Alex's fuel possibly, because the way he's going, he is driving on the ragged edge. He's pretty much doing qualifying laps around here. Just looking at your screen now, looks like there's a little gap opening up with Inman and Chile.
Yeah, a bit of a gap there. I think Chile loses a bit of time through turn 13 and 14.
This is where we'll see Dan's. He's nearly out of fuel, actually. Yeah, Dan's is in.
Dan's is in. He ends up not being a factor in the battle for the lead of this race. He does not end up slowing them down. Inman GT goes to the outside. Chile still trying to stay in the draft. And there you can see Nugatti, the championship leader, just in the back of the shot. There's Alex Rogers and Thomas TT, who's in currently now 4th and 5th place, are on the soft tires. So Inman definitely trying to hold on to that lead as long as he can. He's not making it easy for Chile. But Chile Cole right up to the top of Marion. We expect the same kind of defense that we see from Inman. He's going to hold the inside line, force Chile to go to the outside, and move over on Chile and take away his ability to move across on Inman in the stop. Unless he's got the straight line speed to hold on to it. Inman moves across, and he takes the line away yet again. Chile still cannot get the move done.
I wonder if Chile's enjoying this. Chile's one of those hot-headed drivers that he probably might not like the driving strategy that Inman's doing. Although he gets a good run off Malmedy.
Inman holds the inside. He makes the one move. He might go wide here, though. Chile to the inside. There's a bit of a touch. Just ever so slightly. Inman still has the inside. Chile hold on to it. He does. This great race from Chile, and he takes the lead.
He's got speed. Nice pass there from Chile there. That was he absolutely fully rented for that pass. He's got it stuck.
Inman goes wide into the braking zone for a rivage. Chile takes the inside. Inman tries to brake later through no name, but Chile uses the power and the grip of that Citroen around the outside of Inman. Great racing from the both of them.
Yeah, that was a stunning pass there from Chile there. Just noticing from Dan's, he came out in 9th place. So
Inman
that's
has
the
a
end of
penalty.
this too. Oh, how did he get that?
I think he might have picked it up at the exit of Pujon.
I must have been, yeah, because the penalty showing up in the middle of the final chicane.
And looking at the gap between Alex Rogers and Nugatti currently, it's 5 seconds with 15 minutes left to go. They're definitely closing at a slower rate than what they were before. And now Tom is over the back of Alex Rogers. If Nugatti can hold on to 3rd, even if Chile wins, can you find the points difference between 1st and 3rd currently?
I think it's like 175 for a win, and I think it's like 5 points down. I think so. I think Nugatti would get 165. It's about 10 points difference. And I think the gap between Chile and Nugatti was, I believe, 51. I think Chile was tied on points with Dan's.
I think 2nd place is 165, and I think 3rd is 160.
It could be that then.
If I'm reading this right, so it's a 15-point difference. Nugatti getting a 3rd, Chile getting another win. He basically cut down on Nugatti's lead by 15 points, but he's already got a 50-point lead over him. So, if
36 points then.
I don't think he'd be able to close because Nugatti has 2 6th places as his drop. So if Nugatti finishes 3rd and Chile wins, Nugatti would win the championship by 5 points.
You can hear, I think there's a battle going on for 6th place there. Beckham versus Law, and now Beckham has gone by up into 6th place. But I tell you what, Alex is slowly catching up to Nugatti. 4.6 seconds, 13 minutes to go. So Nugatti's gonna. I don't think Nugatti's in course here for a win. But, oh no, he's there. He's less than a second.
He definitely close up to the back of Inman. Inman's dropped a lot of time.
He definitely has. Yeah, last lap 2:22.059. I know, and that was obviously because of the penalty that he had going into Pujon. I think Nugatti's got the magnets on him now.
Yeah, I think Nugatti realized that Alex Rogers on the softs behind him and he's so slightly closing. Inman now by himself. Nugatti saved enough fuel that he needed to get to the end of the race, and now he's pushing for the rest of it. Because he knows if he loses the position to Alex Rogers, looking at the points difference, it's mathematically possible that I think Chile could possibly win the championship by 1 point at the last round of Catalunya. So if Nugatti loses back to 4th, he could lose the championship. If he holds on to 3rd or at least 2nd, I think he wins it this round.
Just looking here at the times though, with Nugatti on the mediums to Alex, and in fact Thomas is going to try and have a look on the inside. That's has he got it? He looks like he may have.
On the outside,
he has.
So on board the exit Stablo 2, he just the grip of that GTR and the torque absolutely powers right by the Supra of Alex Rogers. So up into fourth is Thomas, but he actually caught up to the back of Nugatti even with that pass. 4.3, but 12 minutes remaining. Will he be close enough to get the pass? But Nugatti all over the back of Inman for second.
Yeah, the last 2 lap times, Thomas, Waffle Boy setting consistent 2:16s. Nugatti's done a 2:18 and a 2:17. They're about a second nearly quicker than Nugatti. And Nugatti's all over the back of Inman now. Oh, I thought he was trying to make a pass in the middle of Radio.
It's a 7-point difference between first and second. If Nugatti gets second and Chile wins, that essentially means that it's a 23-point gap. No, 50, I can't math. 43-point gap between Chile and Nugatti. And with Nugatti's drops currently being a 6th place, that means he would get 6th place points if he finishes outside that.
To the inside. It's going to the inside. Is Inman sort of leaned on him a bit?
It's almost a replay of what Inman experienced a couple laps ago. Nugatti on the outside. Will he try to get it done? Will he be as fast? No, he can't. He will still hold on. But the more they fight, the more Tomo closes up. 3.2 is the gap. Nugatti knows he needs to find a way by.
Yeah, Thomas has gained already about 1.2 seconds on Thomas here. This race is not over just yet. And I mean, we know how good defending driving Inman was. I mean, it was amazing. Chile had to make a superb pass to try and get by Inman. But now, this could be a 4-car scrap for second place. And this is not what Nugatti needs.
It is not what he needs at all. 2.6 now the gap with 10.5 minutes remaining. The longer Inman holds on, the more likely Tomo will catch and pass Nugatti. This is essentially a race for the championship for Nugatti.
See what Thomas pulled away from Alex.
I think Tom was pushing and pushing hard now. He knows he's catching the back of Nugatti. The more these two fight, the more likely they lose time.
Oh, Inman! Hit the actual one that brought him on.
Now for the bus stop chicane, the gap 2.2. He's almost there. We know how strong that GTR is in the slipstream, but Nugatti got the slipstream of Inman.
I want to check the lap time here. So Nugatti did a 2:19.1. Thomas did a 2 minutes 17.0. That's nearly 2.1 seconds. Further back through the field there, there's a good battle going on. It's a nice 3-car scrap there. Dan's, GPS and Kobu. And there's the first, the only Porsche there, Matty. We talked a lot about Matty and the other cars. Oh my god, look at he's all over the back.
We're really trying to focus on this battle for the lead, which ends up being a battle for the championship. He's super close. As Inman go defensive, does he do what he did with Chile? I would expect him to do so, but Tomo 2.1 seconds back. Nugatti doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the same straight line speed as the GT, Super GT.
God, there's no room now. There's no room, Inman.
He just manages to hold on. How much closer does Tomo get? 1.9, 1.8. 9 minutes left.
Alex is slowly catching up to Thomas now. Half a second now.
I want to apologize for the other drivers for having that close battle farther back in the field, but this is a battle for the championship.
Yeah, this is highly important here. I mean, also this is also good for Thomas's Tier B championship too.
That it is.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget about that.
1.5. He's almost within the slipstream of Nugatti. 1.3. I think he's just within the slipstream here. He's definitely going to have it to the exit of Stavro too.
Yeah, it's about 1.1 seconds, and then that's when you're in that slipstream distance. So we're going to have ourselves possibly a 4-car scrap for second place if Alex can just hold on to that GTR. It's less than a second nearly.
It's going to be super close. I think Thomas will be right on the back of Nugatti going through the Kemmel Straight, where they might try to make it 3 wide.
Oh god, that'd be insane. This would be like Monza all over again, this.
7/10. He's definitely in the slipstream. You can see him coming. Nugatti's going to be sweating bullets.
Oh, I'd love to hear what Nugatti would say in this interview, definitely now, because he's going to be a worried man, because there's a GTR in front of him, and there'll be a big GTR right at the back of him.
He's in a position he doesn't want to be in. There's Alex Rogers right in the wings as well, and even Beckham's there. So if Nugatti makes a mistake or loses a lot of time, this championship, not only Chile championship hopes could be kept wide open. Inman goes defensive into turn 1. Alec Thomas TT, Mr. Waffle Boy's right there. Nugatti can't get the run. I think he's going to lose this 3rd place.
Last lap comparison, Nugatti was
side by side. They're side by side.
Seconds up.
They're side by side. No, he has to fall back in line. Thomas is right there. He's going to have the
Watch out for Thomas. Watch out for Thomas. Get on board with him.
Inman might have a penalty there. I think he had a bit of an incident through the top of Radion. Does he get away with it?
Oh,
he does get away with it. Here comes Tomo to the inside.
Oh, he's got the inside.
But he's got Inman right in the inside as well. He can't break as late as he wants to because Inman is there.
Oh, he's side by side.
And the battle will continue. 7 minutes left to go.
I tell you what, I mean, I hope the people in the chat got their popcorn for this, because this is incredible racing here. Nugatti had a little sideways through the Vaj.
Nugatti.
Oh, he's desperate now.
He needs at least third place to win the championship this round. If he finishes fourth or worse, Chile.
He's standing up defending now. Oh, he's sideways! He's sideways from Poulon!
A bit of a moment there, but he holds on. He's falling right off the back of him, and there's where's Thomas now. Thomas gets on the power. Does Nugatti go defensive? Thomas looks to the inside.
He's on the inside!
Nugatti sees it coming. He misses the apex just a little bit.
My, oh my, 54 minutes racing that. And I mean, look, they're still within distance of Chile. Five seconds away is Thomas from the lead. And Chile gets it all wrong through Stavilo 1.
I mean, Thomas, it was Mr.
Oh, sorry, yes, Waffle Boy, sorry.
But he might have it here. This is a good, powerful enough straight for that GTR. He's in the slipstream. Does he have enough life left in his tires? Is he going to look up the inside? Nugatti will hold the inside.
Not going to make the pass. He's got to be at the chicane. He's got to make it stick, though.
He went a little bit wide, though. He's going to lose a bit of time to that. Alex Rogers is right there as well. If Thomas isn't careful and they start fighting, he looks like it's...
No. Oh my god, Alex is still right there. 4-car battle for second place. And if they're not careful, Beckham's in the middle, in the back of it there to pick up the pieces.
I think Nugatti is just a little bit too far off the back of him in GT. Unless he nails turn 1, Thomas could get the pass on the Kemmel straight.
That's just a case of where Nugatti's going to go. If he's going to heavily defend that third place, though. So Waffle Boy's going to go somewhere where he's not, where Nugatti's not. But the problem is, though, is Alex is also there in slipstream distance too, so he can also play a part in this battle.
Oh, wobbly over the top. Here's the slipstream on the Kemmel straight. This is where the GTR is so strong. But Nugatti just has the draft of Inman in front. Inman doesn't go defensive now. He does. He makes his one move. Thomas still isn't quite close enough to the back of Nugatti. I think Thomas' tires might be starting to wear off just a little bit. Oh, but Nugatti has a bit of a moment there.
Oh, I think there might have been a touch with him and Nugatti.
He has a run. He has a run. Going to the outside. Nugatti goes to the inside to stay defensive. Does he break later? Does Nugatti hold on? They're side by side. Nugatti has the inside. Does Tomo get the run on the outside? He does not.
Confirmation that Nugatti did bump on the back of Inman, so that's how. Yeah, there was a bump going into Lecom. Nothing bad though.
Nugatti has a bit look defensive going into Puhan. Thomas tries to look to the outside, can't quite get it done. Here could maybe look on the inside through Puhan. To the exit of Puhan, he's side by side with Nugatti.
Touch! He's pushed him out into the Astro, and here comes Alex to the outside.
Is Alex getting alongside? He
does.
There's
more contact.
He's back into fourth. He's back into fourth. Nugatti Chile's championship hopes will stay alive. 3.5 minutes remaining.
Now, what's the points difference now from first to fourth? Or first to fifth?
I think it's like 31 points, or I think between first and... No, I have to do the math here. It's 15 points between first and third. And I believe it's 54 for fourth?
Quite possibly. I haven't got the points table on my screen yet.
I can't do the math. Hopefully someone in chat could do it for us, but I think Chile's championship hopes will stay alive, even if Alex Rogers finds a way by a Nugatti.
There will be at least 2 more laps of this. I wonder if Thomas can catch up to Inman in second place.
It's quite possible, and Alex Rogers is right there too. Alex Rogers, we know how strong that Supra is in a straight line.
What's the gap then between Inman to Thomas? It's 1.2 seconds. So Waffle's not in that slipstream of the other GTR just ahead.
Well, Alex now he's in the slipstream of Nugatti, half a second. It keeps closing. Rocco's going to make the move. There's Nugatti on the back. Thomas, he's not able to make that move. Stationary for this lap. The next lap will be the final one.
Battle going on for 7th place. They're Law trying to defend, going on the Kemmel Street. And Dan's trying to go around the outside. And I think he's made it work. Lovely pass. They're both sideways off turn 8. And then into, what's that corner again? I forgot. Malmedy. And Dan's made it work.
Getting a replay of that. So Law goes defensive. Dan's used the power of that AMG around the outside. Law breaks just a little bit later, trying to even it out. Dan's on the outside, goes wide, misses the apex, tries to keep it on track, and Law has to take a bit of an avoiding action to stop from running into him.
Gap now, Inman to Thomas, less than half a second.
Half a second between Nugatti and Alex Rogers.
I tell you what, this has been an incredible showiness from Inman. We didn't see a lot of him at Interlagos, where that was his first race, but this has been an impressive showing here for Inman. His defensive driving has been nothing short of excellent, but he's going to have to do it again now because Thomas is all over the back of Inman. One minute to go. Thomas goes to the outside through Bonchimon. He's going to try and go for the crisscross, maybe. Inman touching him into the curb.
He's going to go defensive.
Alex using all of the track on the exit of Blanchimon hit the Astro. This will be the last lap of the race now.
What do you happen to know off the top of your head? What's 175 minus 154?
21 points.
21 points. So it is mathematically possible with where Nugatti currently is that Chile could take the championship if Nugatti gets a 6th place points finish at Catalunya and Chile wins.
It's all down to Alex Rogers though. If he can make a run on Nugatti, then it will be the gap will be a lot less than 20 points. Or 30 points, I think it was, something like that. I can't remember.
First and 6th was 30 points.
Yes, I mean Alex is Nugatti. But I'll tell you what, Nugatti's getting close to the back of Thomas.
Because Thomas around the outside of Inman, trying to make them pass work. Here comes Nugatti trying to maybe make a dive from the inside, take back that 3rd place. Not quite close enough. Inman will still hold on.
Thomas is going to get a good run through Malmedy here. We might have the inside of Rivage.
This is the final lap. With the final spots on the podium.
Who wants it more? I mean, Inman is driven an absolute blinder of a race. Thomas's tyres they're pretty much gone. He's basically running on fumes, and he's all over the back going into Pouhon. He's going to try and make a move sooner rather than later, I reckon.
If Thomas makes a mistake, Nugatti takes back that 3rd place.
Oh! Nugatti hits the Astro on the exit of Pouhon.
Inman doing it.
Look at Thomas! Goodness me! I don't know who's going to get 2nd place.
There's a touch. There was a touch. Thomas takes that 2nd place away from Inman, but there was a touch.
I don't think Inman got lost a bit of time though. I mean, he didn't get it sideways. I think it was more like a forceful pass.
He definitely touched. There was contact making that pass. There's Inman. There's Nugatti. Back and forth. Alex Rogers too far behind to make it work. I think they're going to finish where they are. I don't think Inman can try maybe make him dive to the inside. Inman's
going to go down.
Inman's looking.
He's looking.
They touch.
Oh, they both went off.
Inman was reset. There's a finish at the end. Where's everyone going to finish? Nugatti come across the line.
Alex is going to come across the line 2nd. Thomas and Nugatti will finish 4th.
And there's a spin for Law in the back for 9th.
He's going to lose that 10th place, possibly to Matty.
And that's a bad rejoin from Thomas there, runs into the side of Nugatti. The stewards are going to have their handful here.
Well, I mean, apologies there. We didn't see Chile come across the line to take his first win of the season, but it was all going on. Alex Rogers gets a 2nd place finish. Thomas Waffleboy gets 3rd, and Nugatti get 4th, and then Inman down to 5th. But it's going to be a long, hard night for the stewards here for this race.
Inman tried to make that last lap dive to the inside and missed the breaking point, but congratulations to Chile for extending his championship points lead. And I think Thomas, with that bad rejoin, finished ahead of Nugatti, so come the penalties, it's quite possible that I think Nugatti, after all the penalties are assessed, could actually win the championship.
Oh, quite possibly though. Quite possibly. We're just gonna have to wait until the stewards inquiry that will happen on Wednesday to see the full outcome and see when the Nugatti is finished.
But there you have it, Chile taking another win here at Spa by 6 seconds. Alex Rogers in second, Thomas TT in third, Nugatti in fourth, Inman GT in fifth, and that one guarantee will be disputed at the end of the race. Beckham in sixth, Dan in seventh, JPS in eighth, Kobu in ninth, Maddie in 10th, Law in 11th, but there was that spin. We didn't quite get to see what happened with the spin of Law.
I just saw a little bit of it. I think he ran wide going into the chicane, and then he hit like the sausage curb at the last part of the chicane, and then that would spun him around. I don't know if he had help though. I'm not too sure. I missed a bit of the replay on that though.
Dr. Nihilus in 12th, Pred J 13th, and Jerry Bear in 14th, with Alex Rogers taking the fastest lap of the race with a 16.1.
Whew, holy moly, what a race that was there.
That was quite the race. I'm definitely going to save that replay.
I'm going to have to get about 100 photos for that race now.
I'm sure there will definitely be things happening in that chat, and I think all the penalties at the end will definitely throw open the end of the championship. But ladies and gentlemen, as you see on the screen right now, we're going to try and get some post-race interviews. Hopefully some of those drivers actually want to show up for some interviews, but don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back. Well, it looks like right now we got only one driver. Oh, I think we're going into the wrong chat here.
Is this where I...
Sorry about that. I had a bit of a hiccup there. Let's just hit this button, and this button, and this button, just to be sure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to start our driver interviews. Hopefully everyone here is ready. Let's start on board with. Let's take our winner for a question here. See if he's ready. All right, Chili.
Hello, lot.
How that was a great race from you, Chili.
Yeah. No, don't know where that came from. Yeah, just all worked out for me.
If I'm not mistaken, with the maths I did in my head at the end of the race there, with the unofficial results of Nugatti finishing fourth and you taking the win, I think it's still mathematically possible, unofficially of course, for you to take the championship if Nugatti gets a sixth place points finish in the final round of Catalunya.
I mean, that's going to be a big ask. I got to hope that, something happens to him again. But, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to put on a show this race. I didn't expect to win it. That's part of the reason why I went for overtakes on Nuggy as much as I could. But, yeah, it just works out. I mean, I'm feeling confident for Catalunya, so we'll see what happens. I like Catalunya as a track. So I could win it. Who knows?
Well, I do have to mention unofficially, as I know you didn't see it because you were way out in front there, but there was a bit of a messy bit at there and going to the final corner of the last lap. But I want to get your side of things when you're battling with Inman there for what was effectively the lead after Dan was on his two-stop strategy. What was your side of things there with Inman? What was it like racing with him side by side every lap on the Kemmel Straight like that?
I've got to say, I think I burst him one time in practice, and I knew that he was a clean driver, so it was perfectly measured by him every single time, perfectly measured by me every single time. It was a great battle, but I knew where his weak point was after battling him for three laps in a row. So that's when I pounced, and I got it. So it works out for me.
Well, you said you were definitely looking forward to Catalunya, and I do have to ask because the championship, as it stands right now, is still kind of open. It's still potential there. Are you looking forward to Catalunya? Do you feel like you actually have a chance of taking this championship, or do you feel like you're happy with possibly getting that second place now after Kobu and Dan's didn't have quite the best finish today?
To be honest, again, Nuggy's done so well at the start of the season that I just don't foresee him finishing lower than sixth again, unless something, incredibly bad happens to him. Obviously, secretly, I'm hoping that does happen to him, but it would be tragic for him to lose it in that manner. So, again, I'm just going to take it as a race. I'm not going to have the championship in my head because it's done now. It's all finished. But I look forward to, putting on another show and hopefully doing some more overtakes through there, although it's very hard to pass there.
All right, and one more question before we go. I don't think we ever got an explanation for us on commentary. What was with the all-black liver and the Citroen today?
I just wanted to... it's all to do with the ongoing protests. I mean, I'm not going out for fear of my own personal health because I've got underlying health issues. So I don't want to risk getting the coronavirus, but I thought I could do something in some way to raise awareness myself. That's all it was. Obviously, it's a very important stage that we're going through in the world at the moment, so I thought I can do my bit if I can.
All right, well, congratulations on your win today. A very strong performance from you, and hopefully we have to see another close race like what we ended up seeing today at Catalunya.
I hope so too. Cheers, lap.
All right, let's move on to the man who actually ended up getting second place at the end of everything. Alex Rogers, how are you doing?
Hi, Laurel. You're right.
I'm doing pretty good myself, and let's just get your point of things. What happened there at the end?
No idea. I've got no idea. I'm not going to go into it. I don't know. I can't explain it. So we're all going in there. All of a sudden, Thomas and I feel really bad for Tomo, man. Like, I don't know what happened, but yeah, him and Iman went side by side. They ended up going wide. Nuggy was then trying to avoid somebody coming back on the track, and all of a sudden there was a gap for a Supra to drive into and take second. So yeah, I was pretty bloody happy, to be honest with you. I don't think I've screamed that loud for a while. Even winning races, I don't think I've screamed that loud.
I could definitely tell you we were definitely having screaming our lungs out on commentary too after what we saw happen. But it was a very strong race from you. You definitely went with the alternate strategy with the lower half of the field going from the mediums to the softs, and throughout most of the race you definitely pushed pretty hard to close up to the back of those front runners, and it was a very solid race from you. Throughout most of the time you were battling with Thomas TT there. What was your point of view in battling with him? Like, there were times where you were close, and there were times where you would gap out. What was going on with that? Like, do you feel like maybe you should have battled him a bit more, or do you feel like you made a better call?
No, I think that was the right thing to do. I was ending up like ahead of him in certain places. Thomas was mighty quick, so it was probably better for me to just sort of follow him, really. But I had to sort of be smart on picking the position. So he's really good at Stavilo too, so he's always going to have the run, so I let him pass there. Like, I just lift off a little bit. There's no point in me fighting it because we're just both going to lose time. And then the same up the Kemmel. Like, I could get through Rouge and Radion flat, where I think he was struggling a little bit. So I was pretty much past him before we really got onto the Kemmel. And yeah, we just kind of did that. And to be honest, it just pushed us ahead of everybody else. It kind of worked until the end there. And Thomas when Tomo would get ahead, he'd just gap me a little bit because, my tires probably start to go a little bit more than his. So I was just using him really to sort of push me into contention. Well, not push, drag me into contention, I should say. And that's kind of how I ended up where I was on the last lap, primarily because of Thomas. So thank you, Mr. TT.
Well, it was a very strong race from you, especially after considering where you ended up qualifying and you worked your way up through the field. But as I mentioned with Chile, the next round at Catalunya, and you're in the Supra, you're already pretty much locked down the reserves championship there. Going into Catalunya, how strong do you think you're going to be in that Supra? Or do you feel like maybe that'll be a weak race for you? How are you feeling about that?
I don't know. We'll see when we start practicing again. Because, I thought the Supra would be like, I was like, yeah, Supra at Spa, great stuff. But it turned out to not be as strong as I was hoping it to be. It was bloody hard, to be honest. It always is, but you know what I mean. Whereas you think at Brands, it would be, a pile of steaming, you know what. But it wasn't. It was unbelievable. So, I don't know. We'll see when we start practicing. To be honest with you, I think my worst result now is a 5th place. So if I can beat that, great. If not, I think that's a pretty strong season, to be honest.
And speaking of seasons, this is a bit of more of a personal question because I'm a bit curious. Do you think in season 5 you're actually going to compete full time or this time around, or are you thinking about coming back as a reserve next time for next season, perhaps taking a second drivers' championship?
Well, you know what I've got on the horizon, so I don't think time's going to be a big thing pretty soon. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm pretty much competing full time anyway, and we all know what I'm fighting for. I'm not going to mention it because obviously it's not the one. But yeah, I feel like I'm still in contention for that in a minute. So still focusing on the overall points.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck next round.
Cheers, lad. See you later.
All right, let's move on to our current championship points leader, Nugatti. How are you doing?
Low lateral. Oof. I don't know what happened towards the end there. Yeah, I guess it was a pretty good race. But yeah, I was getting really nervous when I had Alex and Thomas coming up towards me there. So I just tried to, when they came up to me, I just tried to defend for my life. And I don't quite know what Thomas was doing there when he was off track. I don't know what he's on his screen, but it's a shame I got punted off there. I ran out of fuel just on the line, so I just couldn't get him. But yeah, overall, I guess it was okay.
All right, as I mentioned with Chile, if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct, with your current unofficial 4th place finish, I believe the championship is still open if you happen to get a 6th place points finish at the next round at Catalunya, if Chile were to actually end up winning. What's your thoughts on that? Do you feel like you actually have a good chance of taking this championship at Catalunya, or do you feel like that's a weaker track for you?
I feel like I think I'm a little bit stronger than I'm at Spa, Catalonia. But yes, still obviously it is very open. I can suddenly have a bad qualifying or a bad race and crash out. You never know what can happen. But hopefully I can be in the top 3 there as well. We'll see. It's still pretty open, so I'm not gonna say anything.
All right, but throughout most of the season, you've been pretty dominant in an AMG, that Polestar AMG that you've been running. How do you feel like for next season? Do you feel like you're going to want that AMG again, or do you feel like you might want to try a different car out, maybe take a constructors championship? Because I believe with how the points are ending up for this race, I think it'd be pretty hard for your team to take the constructors championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we had two dropouts this round, and yeah, one of our teammates haven't been in the recent races, which is a shame. So, that's pretty much over. But yeah, I feel like the Mercedes is overall a pretty strong car on every track we've had this season. So yeah, I would be open to have that car as well. But it would be cool to have some other cars. Yeah, so we'll see what I choose.
All right, and just to get your point of view at the end there, when you were trying to find a way by Inman and Thomas TT was constantly catching you down, what was going through your head? What was your mindset in that exact moment?
I was just thinking get by Inman, and then I had a little plan, just squeeze by him. But sadly, I got some lag around the 20th to 23rd lap or something like that, I think. So yeah, I just about didn't quite get past Inman. So yeah, I tried to so Inman could hold up Thomas probably if I got past, but sadly I just didn't manage to get past. So yeah, Thomas was. I was thinking by that then that Thomas would quite easily pass me there.
All right, well, I think that'll conclude our interview with you, and good luck in the next round, Catalunya.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, I do see it looks like we did have Inman GT join in this here for the driver interview. I'm not sure if he wants to be interviewed or not, but let's see if he is. Inman, are you happy being interviewed? Doesn't look like he seems to have any audio, so while we wait for him to see if he can figure that out, I see Law has happened to join here. Let's see. Law, are you ready to be interviewed?
Hello.
Hello, Law.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You had a pretty good race going up there at the first half of the race, battling with those top 5 guys, and then after I believe there was a moment where you and Nugatti went side by side, and Kobe was there at the exit of Radion. What was going through your mind at that point?
Oh yes, yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I knew that lap. There's just so much that happened in that race. I just can't picture it all together. I mean, first off, congratulations to Chile. Like that's an incredible job that he did that in that Citroen. But yeah, in the first stint was really good fun. It was really good to battle the other guys, and I felt like I was keeping reasonably good pace. Chile and Nagati were kind of just racing off up front. But yeah, that moment for Arouge and Radion, I can't really recall exactly what happened, but I remember Nagati. Yeah, Nagati was on my inside. Yeah, I didn't want to cause like a spectacular collision, so I just kind of got out of that. But then that obviously gave Kobe a run on me, and I was just following the racing line by kind of swerving, going through Radion, and then I guess Kobe was just trying around the outside, and sort of I didn't really have anywhere to go. I was just following the racing line, so unfortunately he went a bit wide, but I kind of let him back on the circuit. But yeah, we had a bit of bumping going on, me and Kobe. But yeah, I was just trying to fight a little harder just because of the championship. Him being in front of me, I just kind of wanted to keep him behind me. But yeah, at the end of the day, it all didn't matter. I don't know if you saw my last lap spin. It was horrendous.
We did just manage to get to see it. That's another thing I was going to ask you is what was going on with that spin? Did you get a tap from behind, or was it just simply a mistake on the AstroTurf?
Well, first off, I ran out of fuel, so that wasn't great. So I was running out of fuel, like just coming up to the chicane to the bus stop. I had a Dre JPS like right on my tail, and he was basically braking to try and pass me. And like we were alongside, going into the corner. I had no fuel, so I was just literally just defending, and then I think he nudged me off the track. And so I was just trying to kind of make the rest of the corner, and I skipped over the bumps, and then just as soon as I tapped the accelerator with dirty tires with everything, I just spun around. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's really, I just saw everybody going past me. It was really disappointing, but it is what it is, isn't it?
It is. Now, the next round at Catalunya, I should preface this by saying I believe going into this round you were mathematically out of the punt for the championship. But going into next round at Catalunya, how strong do you feel in that Citroen DT? Do you feel like you might possibly be battling for this top for a spot in the podium, if not a win this time around, or do you feel like you're not as comfortable at that track?
I really have no idea. I have no idea what the Citroen's like there. But I'll be practicing tomorrow on it, sure, to finish off the season strong. I think I think fifth place in the championship is something I can be really happy with. Like Kobu is in fourth, and I think he's finished ahead of me, so I think that's kind of over, unless he has a spectacularly bad race at Catalunya. So yeah, I mean, yeah, just go there and have some fun. I've literally no other predictions other than that.
All right, well, I think that'll conclude our interview with you, and you had a pretty strong race out there. You definitely made it exciting for the first half of it, and hopefully we get to see you back at the front for next round.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, let's see if Inman GT has figured out his audio problems. Inman, how are you? Hello, Inman. Oh, heard something there. Oh, really quiet. Let me see if I can turn him up. Hello, Inman. Just trying to get there. Hello, Inman. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think we can get Inman's an interview from Inman today. However, we do have some of the drivers who are in Lobby B here to get an interview. So I will ask Mr. Stiggy himself, the Swedish Superman. Stiggy, how was your race in Lobby B?
It was nice to see mermaids rear taillights, man. Shit, all raced. No, but we had some sort of strat, because we just wanted the 1 and 2 finish. So obviously I was on pole, and then coming up to the Camel Straight, I just lifted a bit because I knew Mermaid was quicker, and then I just was his tail pretty much the whole race. So we got a nice gap to P3.
Right, so just for everyone else, not because weren't able to watch the Lobby B race, give us a run through of what your race was like, what your strategy was, and what else you saw going on throughout that race.
Honestly, I I didn't see that much apart from Mermaid's taillights, as I said before, but we started off strong. I was thinking about taking the 2-strop strategy at first, but Mermaid convinced me to get the 1-stop. And started off strong. We had a 10-second gap, I think, on lap 6, 7, I think. And just kept going, pretty much. We pitted on lap 14, I think, to mediums, and then with 5, 6 laps to go, we started battling. We had a good couple of laps where we overtook each other pretty much. Yeah, almost every corner. Not really, but it was a good race. Unfortunately, it was in Tier B, so.
And that's the next thing I want to ask you. With the last round being at Catalunya, how strong do you feel about the Corvette at that track? Do you feel like it's a weak track for you, or do you feel like you might end up in Lobby B again this time around?
I hope not. I haven't tried the Corvette on Catalunya just yet, but I'm hoping for a strong finish of the season. Really.
All right, well, we hope to get to see you once again in Lobby A. You're always a fantastic competitor that's fun to watch, and hopefully good luck in the next round.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, that looks like it will conclude our driver interviews for today, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, we want to thank you all for joining us here for round 7 of the ARC GR3 Championship Series. We want to give you a nice reminder, if you want to keep up with everything ARC, you can follow us on Twitter at arc_PS4. You can join us here on Discord if you want to compete with some of the guys in here. We all have daily leaderboards, races throughout the week, even our championship once those open up yet again. And of course, we want to remind you to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. It helps us grow and helps us grow our community. It just helps us in general. And again, if you want to support us directly, mainly financially, feel free to check out our Teespring store. We have teespring.com/stores/adrenaline-racing-community. Exactly as it's spelt there on the screen. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and stickers, like as you can see there on the screen. All the money goes to helping us provide trophies and other prizes for our drivers at the end of the championship. So if you want to support us and like what we do, feel free to check that out. Again, I could personally speak for the quality of the merchandise itself. Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our broadcast for today. My name, your main commentator here, his name is Lateral G. My co-commentator's name is My Savo. Again, you can get in touch with both of us in our Discord here at the Adrenaline Racing Community. Once again, thank you for joining us, and ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to keep racing. Thank you.